Alright, live here tonight with Championship Online Racing Association Sunday Money Series. Here tonight we're at USA International Speedway. Right now we're hosting our B main. 4 drivers here in this race looking to get to the A main and make some money for themselves tonight in these little Legends cars around this 3/4 mile track. Ted, going to be some exciting race out there tonight.
Yes, you're definitely going to see some absolutely exciting racing tonight, guys, because with this B main, it's all for the money. This race does not count for points. B main does not. A main, however, does. So these guys are going to be racing very hard to get into the A main race, which we'll be following up right after this B main. A couple of the names that we see here on the list of drivers who are currently going around the track, warming up, getting ready for this race. A lot of names: Bruce R. Bouchard, Vincent Vinny, names that we have seen before, John Larson as well. So there's a lot of big names in this race tonight, and so it's going to be a fantastic thing to watch, and I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, pretty excited tonight. Got a lot of drivers here in this B main for these such tiny cars. It looks like we're going to have about 12 drivers actually starting this race here, Ted. And they're scheduled 75 laps around here in this B main, 24 seconds a lap. Definitely probably going to do a couple pit stops here for fresh tires.
Yeah, you're definitely going to have to at this racetrack, and I mean, it's a small track. It's about 3/4 of a mile. And so strategy is definitely going to have to come into play. And we've never been, I think this is one of the shortest tracks we've been at here in this series so far. Not only that, we're in the Legends cars. So that kind of messes everything up, because we haven't been able to do it, you know. So I mean, it's going to be interesting to see all these cars. We haven't seen them before, and I think these smaller cars are going to really bring the excitement, because we're going to see some chances where guys are going to go crazy, because it's all about getting in that main race.
Alright guys, in last week's results, Bruce R. Bouchard going back-to-back at Charlotte last week, followed up by Malik Hoons. Third, you had Mark Montanari, so definitely strong finish out of some people we've seen before, and a new person up there, Malik Hoons. Fourth, you had David Wank, and fifth from last week, Chris Scala, definitely showing his pride out there.
Yeah, these guys really had a good race last week at Charlotte, rounding out the rest of your top 10, finishing 6th, and the number 38 was Joshua Gaiman, and the number 19, Alan Starring, number 23, Donald King, the number 81 of Colton Berkey, and rounding out your top 10 was the number 62 of Michael D'Amico.
Yeah, clean race last week for these guys. They had a total of 3 cautions for 13 laps. But getting to the race tonight, these drivers getting ready to line up here in just a few seconds underway at USA. So like we said before, there were 3 heats to get into the A main. They had 3 people out of each heat, I believe, qualify for the A main. 4 people coming out of their B main to get in there. All tonight looking to gain the most points towards the championship and the money to go into next week.
Yeah, exactly. And so I mean, we talked to Alan earlier today, Alan Larson, and he talked to us about this race and how he's very excited to see exactly what's going to happen, and so he got us pumped up to see what was going to happen. And you know, I think with this whole chase and race into the A main, we're going to see a lot of drivers trying a lot of risky things. Not so much early on, but I mean, when those 10 laps hit, it's going to be something to see. So here we go to grid, Matt.
Yeah, gridding up tonight, starting on the pole in the B main, 71 Vincent Vinny, and on the outside of him, you're going to have Cody Severt.
In that second row, starting third in the number 33 is Travis Brown, and starting right next to him in that number 72 is Ron McMahon.
Starting in the row behind them, 96 Alan Starring. On the outside of him, the 02 James Wilkins.
In the fourth row, the number 69, a name we have seen several times, Dale Smalley, and number 8, Sean Dower.
Starting behind him, 44, Kevin McCarthy. And on the outside of him, he's won 2 weeks in a row here with Cora. And second in points, Bruce R. Bouchard.
Starting row 6, the number 98 of John Larson. And right next to him in the number 24, Everett D. Lane.
Rounding out your field in the last row, the number 10, Barry Wilburn. And starting 14th, number 19, Donald Sadetsky. These cars are rolling around behind the pace car for the time being. It looks like they'll be going green next time by, Ted.
Yep, they will be going green next time by, or this time by, rather, as the lights, it looks like, are off of the pace car, or next time by, yeah, because lights are off on the pace car. So, I mean, this is a very short track. It's 0.75 miles, 3/4 of a mile, and so they'll be getting around here pretty quick, and we'll be underway here in the first race of 2 that we'll be showing here tonight on ETV Live. And so just keep watching for that. Like we said before, your top 4 drivers, 1, 2, 3, 4, are going to make it into the A main race. Right now, race hasn't started, however, but the people who are looking in that grid right now to make it into that, the little slots, is Vincent Vinny, Cody Sever, Travis Brown, and Ron McMahon. Those are your top 4. But here they come into 3 and 4. We're going to go racing, Matt.
Yeah, racing definitely going to be right around that 4th spot as the top 3 will chill out a little bit. Pace car is off. Vincent Vinny waiting to get the green flag to go. He's holding on. And 78 looks like jumped the restart. Vincent Vinny going across the line with a bad start into 1. And that's going to be 78. Cody Sever way out front there already.
Yeah, he had a huge jump out front, so I don't know if they might give him the black flag per se because he ended up jumping that restart. But good on him for getting such a huge restart as he got a hefty lead right out of the gate. Vincent Vinny, who was in your first position, is still in second, but right below him in that number 72 car, he's trying to make his way into that second position, is Ron McMahon as they head onto the backstretch.
In for a battle for the transfer spot, 4th place, Travis Brown. Alan Starring looking for any way he can possibly get around that machine on the inside and the outside. Trying a couple different grooves. Behind them, trying to chase him down, Sean Dorr. And it looks like we got a car off in the grass going down the front stretch.
Car off into the grass down the front stretch. It would seem that car, looking back, Donald Sadusky in that number 19 car in 14th place, he definitely is falling back. He needs to catch that before he loses them. But the guy who went off into the grass was actually Dale Smalley, a name that we're very familiar with. So he went off into the grass, lost the pace, but he jumps back up there as he tries to race back up to the front.
Alan Starring back up to the bumper of the 33 Travis Brown for 4th place as they're quickly running down Vincent Vinny together. And they're just single-filed out there first through about 9th place, putting some laps down here as they've still got a long ways to go tonight.
Yep, still got a long ways to go. We got 75 laps in this first race out of 2, and we're only on lap 5. Caution is out, though, on the raceway, Matt.
Caution out. Looking around for some smoke. I didn't see it up front, so it's definitely around near the back. And I'm thinking about John. It seems like Donald Sadusky.
Yeah, it seems like the man who might have spun it around was that number 19 car that I had mentioned earlier, or rather the 98 car. Excuse me, I'm sorry, I ended up getting the car wrong, so I apologize for that. But the number 98 of John Larson spun it around on the front stretch, coming out of 4. It seems like he might have dug a little bit low as he caught the grass there, Matt.
Yeah, definitely. I've seen this a little bit tonight. These cars getting loose, digging low off towards that grass area. It's definitely a threat to play with. It looks like we got Dale Smalley back there coming down pit road, probably putting some fresh tires after he went for his spin. And I believe we'll see John Larson probably come down too.
Yeah, they'll come around. We'll see a couple cars jump down onto pit road to get looked at. Looking back at the field, something that I was thinking about, Matt, is that I mean, and this occurred to me when a big name like Dale Smalley and John Larson, how they have fallen back to the 13th and 14th spot respectively is that this is a game changer. All right, you know, not only do the top 4 people from this race go into the main race, the one that is for points, you know. So what if a guy like Dale Smalley, who currently is sitting in the #1 spot in the CORA point standings right now, I mean, what if he doesn't make this race and he doesn't get into that A main race? That poses a huge problem there, as he won't gain any points, because this B main race, it's not 4 points. It's just to race into that main race for tonight. And so the fact that he's sitting back there in 13th position, even Bruce Arbachard sitting back in the 8th position, not up in that top 4 spot. I mean, a lot of these big names, they're going to have to get up there. They're going to have to get that top 4 spot, one of them, if they want to gain any points this week. And, I mean, guys with huge names like that who made a huge jump into the point standings, if they don't get up there, and if they don't make this next race, and they're going to take a huge points drop.
Yeah, well, Ted, looking at it, Dale Somali's got the 96 points lead over Bruce Bouchard, who's failed to make it into a qualifying spot tonight. So looking at that, he doesn't have too much of a worry there in the points. Next person back, David Wank, 126 points back. I don't see Wank in the B main, and we haven't quite got the official list for the A main yet. So we're gonna have to see. Even then, though, one race, he's not going to lose the points lead most likely tonight. So definitely he's out there and he wants to extend his lead, but he doesn't have too much of a worry on his shoulders except keeping that cushion that he has right now.
It does make me wonder. I mean, obviously it would help it would help Bruce Arbachard out if he made it into the A main race and then won. You know, green flag out though here on the speedway at USA International Speedway. We're back to green after that caution that came out on lap.
Yeah, going back to 4th place. Right behind him, actually 5th and 6th, the 96 Alan Starring, 8 of Don Dort. On the outside, trying to keep the 5th place position is Alan Starring on the inside. And the inside lane so far tonight has been the fastest way around, but also the slickest.
Yeah, definitely one of the slickest, as we saw with John Larson, that number 98 car. But yeah, looking back in the 5th position, Alan Starring in that 96. He's trying to race hard against that number 33 of Travis Brown, trying to get around him. Travis Brown, he's currently in that transition spot. He's sitting in 4th place. He is now going to try to look in these next in the next thing, but hey, caution back out on the speedway. I think we might still be green, but Dale Smalley is around, I hear.
Yeah, Dale Somali goes into 3 hard and just nails it up towards the wall. So the number 69 Blue Machine, a lot of damage out on that car. So he's going to have to get that thing going, but we're still green flag here tonight.
Still green flag. Lot of damage to our points leader as he took another spill into turn 4. And yeah, like you said, there is a lot of heavy damage to that car. It's going to be interesting exactly what we're going to see here tonight when it comes to that kind of thing. I mean, these guys, they've been racing this entire series. They've been racing with trucks. They've raced in the Gen 6 cars, and they've even raced in the Indy cars. So I don't think that they're really prepared to make this hard transition into legend cars. That definitely mixed things up a bit. And when you're only 3 laps or 3 tracks away, 3 races away from the end of this season, it kind of makes you wonder exactly what might go down, the different things that could occur. But Dale Smalley, he has a huge lead in the points, so like you said, it might not have too much to worry about. But we are under caution here, Matt, at USA International Speedway.
And it looks like about all these other weeks, Ted. 69's come back down. They let him pull out that backup back out there on the track. Showing him in 12th place, but these guys are firm in the end of the line penalty when you cause the caution. So he'll have to restart 14th and make up 10 positions to try and get into the A main, Ted. So he's got a plate ahead of him, although they still have 60 laps to go.
So, Matt, we had this the last time we broadcasted about 2 weeks ago, me and you in the booth. We had this little thing where we asked each other exactly who we thought was gonna win. I'm not gonna ask you that because it turned out our drivers did not have that good of a time after we made the prediction that they might win. So, but I will ask you this: who are your top 4 drivers in this B main that you think are going to make it up there and stay in those top 4 spots to transfer to the A main race?
Well, to be honest, Ted, from the start of this race, the top 4 is the top 4. We've rearranged the order a little bit, but it still sticks Cody Severt, Ron McMahon, Vincent Vinny, and Travis Brown, the top 4 starting this race, able to hold on to it right now. I think the top 3 right now, the 78, 72, and 71, all going to make it. Travis Brown, though, he's going to have to pick up some speed, or else Alan Starring or even Sean Dorr is going to have the door open for him.
And you know, I must admit, I 100% agree with you. Actually, that's a good prediction. So I'll stick with that. I'm not going to veer too much, but we are back to green here at USA International Speedway. Cody Severt still up there in that number 78 car. He's in the lead, and he gets a huge lead once again on Ron McMahon, who sits in that second position with Vincent Vinny in his number 71 machine in the third place position.
Yeah, third actually battling right now. Travis Brown was looking for it, went to the inside of Vincent Vinny, got a little loose coming off the 3. Moving his way up to 5th place, 44, Kevin McCarthy right behind him, but he pushes up hard in the middle of turn 2 and actually almost loses a couple positions there as Alan Starr went by him and almost brought the number 3 of Sean Dorr.
And you know, Cody Severt, I don't know if he got too much of a lead right there on that restart, but that number 72 of Ron McMahon, who's now trying to look to the inside of Cody Severt, he is pushing hard on him, and he's having a really good opportunity. He's gaining really good ground on our leader right now, as well as Vincent Vinny. But there goes the number 33. You said he needed to pick up some speed, and it looks like he's found that speed because he looks to the inside of the number 71 of Vincent Vinny for 3rd place.
Yeah, I think Vincent Vinny's struggling right now at the beginning of this race, and he has been the whole race long. But still, that high line working for him. He's able to clear the 33 again. Kevin McCarthy, though, looking to make the move for 5th place, on Allen, as Allen's almost bumping the 33 out of his way, saying he needs to go, and he's around. That's the number 96, Alan Starr, put around by the 44, Kevin McCarthy, going into 3.
And I'm looking at this replay right now, and yeah, he clipped him, and he clipped him good. That number 11 car, it looks like, of Bruce R. Bouchard, 44 rather. My apologies. 44 Kevin McCarthy gave the number 96 of Alan Starring a good little tap going into turn 4 and spun him right around onto the apron. He held onto it though, did not bring it back up onto the track and collect anybody else, and so that was always that's always a plus to a track that has such tight corners and straightaways.
Yeah, I have to say I saw this coming for a few turns in a row, that this was just about to happen. I mean, eventually it had to come. Alan Starr checking up for Travis Brown and got himself put around, so a lot of work for such a fast car here tonight.
And Matt, you're the number cruncher. You're the guy who's good at these sort of things. How many pit stops will these guys have to make when it comes to tires or gas?
We didn't get really too much time to talk to these drivers for the beginning of this race, but usually we're probably looking about 30 laps on gas here, and tires, I think these guys are going to be able to do full runs on tires. It doesn't look like this is going to be too much of an aggressive wear track for them.
Okay, but if they come down, say you got a guy in 1st place who doesn't grab any tires, and you got that guy who comes out of the pits in 2nd place, he's got 4 fresh tires on there. When it comes to grip with this track, it has a 14-degree banking, so I mean there's a little bit of need for grip, and how slick it's been on that inside. How much will that extra grip from new tires help him out?
From the beginning of the race, I'm looking at Cody Severt, our fastest guy out there. His fastest lap so far ran on lap 4. He ran a 24.441. Before this last caution came out, Ted, he was still running 24.5s. So I've got to say, the fall off so far, we're not seeing it as desperate as you would think. Even with such low banking, these cars just have such wide tires for the amount of body weight they have. It gives them so much extra grip.
Gotcha. Well, that's good to see. As we look at our top 5 right now at USA International Speedway, we're on lap 23 of 75. Cody Severt in that number 78 sitting in that top position. The number 72 of Ron McMahon right behind him. Vincent Vinny in the 71. Travis Brown in the 33. And rounding out your top 5 is Kevin McCarthy in that number 44. Going into the pits now, I mean, we're still under caution here, but going into the pits is that number 44 of Kevin McCarthy, who was in that last last caution that came out. He was involved in it as he spun around the number 96 of Alan Starring. Kevin McCarthy was given a end of the line penalty, so he has gone down pit road and he'll come back and he'll be back at the longest end of the line. At such a short track as USA International Speedway, you would expect by at least lap 24, as we are right now on, that you would see some lapping, that you'd have cars that are a lap down, 2 laps down, maybe not 2, but at least a lap down. However, all 14 cars are currently on the lead lap, so that's something to see, as the pace car has jumped down below into pit road, and we are back to green here at USA International Speedway.
Yeah, back green here at the Speedway. It looks like the 78 pulling away once again. Strong car, good restart for him. Back here in 4th place, though, Travis Brown still defending that 4th place position, but now he's got some different names behind him. Bruce Arbachard, Everett Lane, looking for the position as they fall back a little bit, battling each other here, trying to see who's actually going to work their way into the transfer spot. It looks like Bruce Arbachard's actually picked up the spot, and now he's going after Vincent Vinny for 3rd place at 71 and 11, battling it out here. As Bouchard's looking left and right coming down the straightaway. Which way can he make the move coming into the turn? So like I said earlier to Ted, Travis Brown's got to pick up some speed here if he wants to qualify tonight, but already moving their way back up. Dale Smalley's picked up 4 positions since his accident, picking up another one here to go into 9th place, trying to work his way forward. Alan Starring all the way from his wreck back up to 8th place. And Kevin McCarthy actually given the EOL on that last wreck, so he's got the most work to do from 14th, and he's a long ways off the field.
Yeah, he's way back there in pace, 14 seconds behind Cody Severt, our leader in that number 78 car. And, I mean, everybody else, the next car up in 13th position is 8 seconds behind. So that just gives everybody a little bit of a reference on how far back he truly is. But looking back in the 3rd position, number 71 of Vincent Vinny, he's getting worked on by the number 11 of Bruce R. Bouchard, who has moved his way up from the 8th position to the 4th position. Caution out now, once again on the speedway here at USA International Speedway. With that caution here out on the speedway, we will be going to commercial break, but stay with us here on ETV Live for the CORA Championship Online Racing Association's B main race. Stay with us.
United Sports Radio, even adult and unplugged rock and roll. HDRadioNetwork.com, one of the fastest growing internet radio networks. HDRadioNetwork.com. Take it with you, cowboy. Get the mobile app for Android, iPhone, iPad, and all the rest from TuneIn.com.
InsideSimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
It's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Travis, start your engines!
Michael Conti comes up at a corner number 4, and the checkered flag, he wins his first NASCAR iRacing.
Back live at USA International Speedway in Lakeland, Florida. We are back to green here. Cody Servert in his number 78 car jumping out front once again. But looking back in the 3rd and 4th position, the number 71 of Vincent Vinny and the number 11 of Bruce R. Bouchard. A great, absolutely great fight they have going on back there as Bruce R. Bouchard jumps to that inside line to try to take the position away from Vincent Vinny, but Vincent Vinny in his number 71 car is holding on to it as strong as he can, but it looks like Bruce R. Bouchard, who's sitting second right now in our point standings for Cora Sunday Money Series, has cleared him and will take that 3rd spot away from Vincent Vinny. And now Vincent Vinny in that 71 has Travis Brown in that number 33 to worry about. So as they head off into turn 1, we'll see if he tries to take that high line. He drove it in hard too as he came up. And now it looks like the number 24 will try to make some good work of him. A lot of good passes, a lot of clean passes have happened so far today. One thing that we want you viewers to know, if you're trying to look for him, John Larson, that number 98, after significant damage to his car, has taken it behind the wall. So he is out of this race, and he will not transfer over into that top spot for the main race. But looking back up in front, that number 78 of Cody Servert has the number 72 of Ron McMahon all over his rear bumper, trying to find some way. But in that 3rd spot, Bruce R. Bouchard, after getting a great run out of 4, has jumped up high of Ron McMahon, and he will take away the 2nd spot from him. Bruce R. Bouchard has an absolutely fast car out of everybody in that field. He has a fast car. He was in 8th position about, I'd say, about 10 laps ago, and now he's back up in 2nd place, and he is fighting for that top spot from Cody Servert, who's held on to it all race long.
All right, guys, I'll tell you what, the Cowboy here filling in for Matt Close had to step away, had an emergency prop up, but I'll tell you what, the Cowboy in the booth up here with Ted Manning, Legends cars here at USA International. Hey, I'm back here in 9th position. Sean Dower back here, dude. I'll tell you what, this Cowboy is putting the pressure on the 33 machine of Travis Brown out in front of him with the 44. gaining a little bit of time over that 33 machine. So Sean Dower taking a back seat back here. But I tell you what, he does have some traffic in front of him moving up through the line here. The 96 car of Alan Starring up here, 6th position, guys. He's also staring at the bumper of the 24 car. 41 laps into a 75-lap race here at USA International Speedway, Ted. And I'll tell you what, this is short track racing at its best.
Definitely short track racing at its best as we look up to the front of the pack, and that's Bruce R. Bouchard, our new leader here at USA International Speedway. He took that lead away from Cody Severt with ease as he just made absolute work of the field and got up there to get that top spot. So, I mean, JD, he has a very strong car tonight, so he's definitely that guy to look at to make it into the A-main race.
Absolutely. I tell you what, you know what else? I love these cars. I saw these cars, the real deal, in North Carolina a few years back at Orange County Speedway. And I'll tell you what, if I could have jumped into one of these things, I would have. These things look like a ton of fun, dude. But I'll tell you what, some great racing here tonight. Of course, Championship Online Racing Association, CORA, puts on some fantastic stuff here every Sunday night, right here live on ETV Live, Channel 2, every Sunday night at 8 o'clock. But I tell you what, duking it out up here, 2nd place for the run here, Ron McMahon, I want to get that right, 3rd place up here in that 72 machine, was putting the pressure on the 76, Cody Selvert for a minute there, but backs out of it. But going to regroup here and then try to build up a head of steam and get that pony of his back up there and tangle with the 78 car for sure.
One thing I've noticed throughout this race today, JD, is that looking from 1st position all the way back to 8th position and on, these cars, you can be in 8th place 10 laps, and then 10 laps later be leading this race, as we saw with Bruce R. Bouchard. And so these guys are racing absolutely great, minus a little bit of mishaps earlier on in the race. They've been racing clean. And you know what? At this point, it can be anybody's race. And so when you bring an atmosphere like that to Online Sim Racing or Championship Online Racing Association, I mean, they put on absolutely fantastic shows. And talking about Bruce R. Bouchard, our leader currently right now, he has won the past 2 races for Championship Online Racing Association. And so, I mean, not talking too soon because obviously we still have the A-main race to go, but he could be looking at a 3-peat, JD.
Absolutely. I tell you what, while that's going on up there, it's a 24 machine and the 69 car of Dale Smalley duking it out back here. Now, Smalley was looking for a way around that 24 for about 3 or 4 laps here. Finally found it on the top side. Going to go for the run here. He's going to get the position over Everett Lane back here. That's going to be 9th position for Dale Smalley, dudes. I'll tell you what, that cowboy's got his pony greased up and lightning fast here tonight. The 8 car is next. That's Sean Dower up there in 8th position. And it won't be long now. Dale Smalley in that 69 already putting the pressure on. But check up front, dude. Travis Brown. Now he's in a long line of cars here, all the way up to about 4th position up here with Alan Staring leading this group. At Vincent Vinny, Kevin McCarthy, Travis Brown back here in the 33 car. So 49 laps in the books here, 75 laps on the board. And I tell you what, things are starting to heat up here at USA International Speedway.
After that last caution, Kevin McCarthy in that number 44 car had to drop back to the end of the longest line. At the time, all 14 cars were still on the lead lap before John Larson had to sadly pull it behind the wall. And so from Kevin McCarthy to go back from 14th position and now sitting in that 6th position trying to make quick work of Vincent Vinny in that 71 car, I mean, man, we got some exciting racing going on. Looking back in the 8th position, back at Dale Smalley in that 69 car, he has just made quick work of the number 8 of Sean Dower, and he will start pounding it up there to that number 33 of Travis Brown and try to get up to that pack and get by them. So as far as cars on the move tonight, he is one to look for. He fell back earlier in this race. He had a couple problems, a couple spins, had a little bit damage to his car, but after a quick fix-up, getting back out there on the track, it looks like he has gotten cemented in his ways here at USA International Speedway and has found just the right groove because he is pulling up there quick to the front, JD.
closing in on that group in front of him. Dale Smalley, former championship driver here at Cora, he's putting the pressure on the 33 now as the 33 gets a little bit of wiggle coming out of the turn here. But I'll tell you what, Dale Smalley is absolutely on a tear here at USA International. He's looking for a top 4 spot here, get into that A main here coming up after the B main. But I'll tell you, some fantastic racing, even up front here, the 71 machine, Vincent Viney. Now, if you ever watch this dude in a cup car, he can wheel a cup car with the best of them. Vincent Viney is currently sitting in 6th position in that 71 machine of his. He's got about, 4 or 5 car lengths to catch up to the 44. That's Kevin McCarthy up here, 5th position, top 5 for him for right now. But I believe, it's, if I'm not mistaken, it's the top 4 positions to transfer into the A main, Ted?
Yeah, it's the top 4 positions that will make it into the A main right now. So let's say, for example, that this race were to finish right now. That means Bruce R. Bouchard, who sits in 1st, Ron McMahon in 2nd, Cody Savert in 3rd, and Alan Starring in 4th. They will move on to the next race that we have tonight. By next race, I mean we have a 2-race special for y'all tonight here on ETV Live. This is the B main race. This has no points at all. Like, you will not get any points tonight for winning this race, for coming in 2nd, so on and so forth. This is all a race for the A main to get those top 4 spots. So we're going to see some absolutely fantastic driving by these guys to try to get up there, because right now on lap 56 out of 75, it's crunch time, baby. They got to get up there to the front. They got to get in those top 4 spots if they want to make it into the A main race, because once you make it up in the A main race, JD, that's when the points come up. That's where the points will matter.
And I'll tell you what, Dale Smalley picks up another one. He just earned himself another position here, 7th position, overtaking Travis Brown back here in that 33 machine. I'll tell you what, Dale Smalley desperately looking for a top 4 finish here in the B main so he can secure a spot in that A main race here coming up right after this one here. But I'll tell you what, that 69 car, he is on the move. He's got that pony reared up and ready to go here at the USA International Speedway, and making quick work of Vincent Viney, the 71 machine. Looks like the 71 might have backed out of it, giving Smalley the position up here. Not sure what that was all about, Cowboy, but I'll tell you what, up in front, Alan Staring, he's currently in 3rd position, trying to hang on to it, but here comes that 44 machine of Kevin McCarthy. That's the last one in line, Cowboy, and he needs to hang on to it to get into that A main.
Yeah, right now it's one of those moments where you no longer like, okay, I got it, I got this top 4 spot, I don't have anything to worry about. And now sitting up there, he's desperately like, oh my gosh, I need to get up to the 3rd position, I need to get up to the 2nd position, anything to get out of 4th position, because coming down with 5 laps to go, if you're sitting in 4th place, you are going to be sweating bullets, and you're no longer going to be racing, driving by looking forward. You're going to be looking in that rearview mirror almost 24/7. But looking at the points right now, when you got Dale Smalley in that number 69 in 5th place right now, he's trying to find his way up in that top 4 spot, because Dale Smalley is your leader in points tonight. But who's in 2nd place? Who's moved up 2 positions after getting a 2nd win in a row? That's Bruce R. Bouchard, and he is 96 points behind this leader. So not saying it's going to happen, but if it did, if Bruce R. Bouchard went on to the A main race and Dale Smalley could not get into that top 4 spot and doesn't move up to the A main race, that gives Bruce R. Bouchard some comfort room where he can gain some points on that leader, and we can have ourselves a race, a chase down to the championship of the Cora Sunday Money series like we did it last year. Last year, JD introduced the Cora Championship Online Racing Association to the Sunday Money series to ETV Live. We got to broadcast the very last race of Season 1. And it was a chase. It was a chase all the way down to the very end with Gordon Berkey and Dale Smalley, with Dale Smalley running away with the championship. So, JD, a lot of things can happen in these next 3 races, and I think we're going to have a very exciting race tonight as well as the weeks to come.
Absolutely, Cowboy. And I'll tell you what, watching the 33 machine back here, currently running in 8th position, he was chasing down Viney and Sievert up here in 7th position, 6th position, but check my numbers here. Something happened to him. He got a little bit of a wiggle coming out of the turn. I think he lost a little bit of power there, had to back out of it and ease up on the throttle. But the 33 machine of Travis Brown desperately trying to look for a top 4 here tonight as he takes the high groove coming off the turn. But I want to check the chat box over here, Cowboy. I tell you what, let's say hello to Alan Larson. I know who that is, Cowboy. He's one of the race officials here tonight at USA International. Chris Scala is in the house. David Fish, David Wank watching here tonight, and Dong King, All Pro, is in the house. And of course, guest this, guest that. You boys, you know you can put your real name in there. Caution coming out here on the speedway, Ted, as we try to chase it down and find out who brought this one out.
Yep, caution again once out on this, once again out on the speedway here at USA International, as we try to look back and see exactly what caused this caution. I think this would be the 4th caution of tonight, and so I mean, looking back to try to find exactly who was the one to bring out this caution, so we can give you a little play-by-play on what exactly happened. But it might have just been a little spin, JD, because as of right now I cannot find it, as I'm still looking back on the replay tape.
You bet. I've got my monitor wound back up here too, looking for it. But Ted, what do we got, bud?
Alright, I have found it, and you know what? It ended up involving with that number 44 Kevin McCarthy and the number 96 of Alan Starring. As they were heading off into turn number 1, I guess Alan Starring had to hit on his brakes because he almost just ran into the back of, it looks like that 71 car, or not 71, 72 rather, of Ron McMahon, and so he dove in there, almost ran into him, had to let off, and the number 44 of Kevin McCarthy just ran into the back of him, spun him around, and he has a little bit of damage to the front of his car, but he kept it off the wall for the most part, and so he'll keep on running as we're under caution here, JD.
I believe they call that a triple axle or an e-ticket ride here on ETV Live. So caution number 4 on the speedway here tonight. And I tell you what, no harm, no foul. Alan Starring looks like he's in pretty decent shape here, as I'm still watching it on my replay. But I tell you what, with 65 laps in the books here, 10 to go here, it'll be probably about 8 or 9 before we get back to green here. But what a race here tonight.
Yeah, so far we've just had an absolutely fantastic race. Not a lot of crazy cautions. We haven't seen people slamming into each other and totally taking each other out of this race. One thing to take note of, we have a couple of cars, you might be looking on your screen right now, that you're like, I didn't see them up in the front before. Well, that's the number 10, the number 02, and the number 19, Barry Winborn, James Wilkins, and Donald Sadusky, who are all 1 lap down currently. Your guys on the lead lap is positions 1 through 10. Bruce Arbistrad, Ron McMahon, Kevin McCarthy, and Dale Smalley all in your transfer spots right now to make it to the A main race. Dale Smalley able to get that 4th position from Cody Savert in that number 78, but I have a feeling, JD, he's not going to just give that spot up, and he's going to be racing for it. And like you said, we're going to have 8 or 9 laps to go when we go back to green, and I mean, that's just a race right there, man. I mean, they're going to be pushing hard because everybody's going to want that transfer spot, especially the likes of Dale Smalley. Cody Savert, I bet he would not mind to get up there. Alan Starring as well, who's in 5th place. So a lot of crazy stuff is about to happen, JD. A lot of stuff's about to go down.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. This is what you typically see back in North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, back in dirt track, short track areas like that. And I tell you, this is some fantastic racing. I love this stuff. Lights are off on the pace car, and it's a short way around this track. I believe it's a 3/4 mile track, if I'm not mistaken. Been a while since I've been here. Bruce Bouchard is going to pick up the green flag with McMahon, Smalley, and Sievert. Smalley up into 3rd position, and he's secured right now. But all he needs to do is stay up there. Cody Servert, he's secured in that 4th position. And then Alan Starring, he sees it and he wants it as the green flag comes out, and we're back to racing.
We are back to racing here at USA International Speedway. Bruce Arbichard in that number 1 spot. Looking back, though, that number 8, whoa, he got a little bit loose. That's Sean Dower trying to make a move on the number 33 at Travis Brown, but that did not happen as he got it way loose trying to get by him, and he almost ended up into the wall. Kevin McCarthy has been given a end-of-the-line penalty as well, and he parked it into the pit, so that's something that y'all should know if you don't see him racing around, as he goes a lap down. Alan Starring, that number 96, a lap down as well. the transfer spots. What we're looking for. Lap 72 out of 75. We are down to the final laps here at USA International Speedway. JD, man, it's getting down there as we got a spin. Dale Smalley up into the wall. They're both upside down. That might be the end of the race here, JD.
It may be the end of the race, and it just might be the end of Dale Smalley's chance for a transfer spot into the A main as the dust clears here at USA International with 2 laps to go. They may be calling the race here, and it just might be Bouchard, McMahon, Lane, and Dower. Dower in that A machine having a rough start this last go-round off that last caution. I'll tell you what, does he feel lucky or what?
He feels every essence of lucky right now. I mean, you don't have enough luck to be able to throw at him because Dale Smalley, our points leader, going into this week as they were heading off, racing each other very hard into turn number 1, and just that number 78 of Cody Servert ended up clipping his the left corner panel. They both spun up into the wall and both took a tumble, both flipping down that turn there, and that's some Heartbreak Kid kind of stuff, JD.
I'll tell you what, Heartbreak Kid, that belongs to Dale Smalley and that 69 machine, working so hard in the latter half of this race to get that number 69 car of his up to the front, top 4. He was in 3rd place when all that mayhem took place, out of the running here if this race is over, and it just might very well be. We're on lap 75, and that's going to be it, Cowboy. This is the race is going to be called, and here's your lineup. Bruce Bouchard will transfer over with Ron McMahon, Everett Lane, Sean Dower, your top 4 finishers here at USA International. And I'll tell you what, Ted, this is fodder for a new radio show coming our way. Rewind BS and Back Talk radio show coming soon to ETV Live. You can join me, Dakota Ehrman, and Jimmy North for an hour of Rewind, looking back at previous events like the CORA race here tonight, interviews from drivers and crew chiefs, also the myself, the so-called authority on BS and Back Talk. And, of course, a lot of things we can discuss, previous races, recaps and that kind of thing. So coming soon on ETV Live Radio. I'll tell you what, having a ton of fun here at USA International Raceway. And I believe the race is over. And they are going to call it. Bouchard is going to bring the trophy home. Also want to make mention, Ted, of the setup analyzer from Mark Montanari. If you need a crew chief, here's the next best thing. Mark Montanari's Sim Racing Setup Analyzer. As you test the car, enter data into the analyzer, and just like the big guys, it spits out recommendations that you can make to the changes. Join the ranks of some of the fastest guys. I got to learn to read my own damn script. Join the ranks of some of the fastest guys in sim racing. Get the analyzer and start turning your wrenches at the click of the mouse. Sim Racing Setup Analyzer, the only crew chief you'll need. You can get it at setupanalyzer.com, Ted.
Absolutely great racing here tonight at USA International Speedway. And boys and girls, we're not done yet. We still have the A main race, the main event for tonight. And that main event will have the likes of Bruce R. Bouchard, Ron McMahon, Everett D. Lane, and Sean Dower joining those ranks. They'll be starting in the back there after racing in the B main race. And so hey, it comes down to this, but guys, we had a great race in that first B main, the first race of the night. I think we're gonna have an absolutely even better race tonight, or with the A main race. And so JD, I mean, that's what these guys have to look forward to. You had a great race tonight, you're gonna probably have an even better one later tonight with the A main. Here at USA International Speedway, the checker has dropped after caution came out on the raceway with the incident between Dale Smalley and that number 78 of Cody Servert. And right now, I have teleported from the box down to victory lane with that number 11, Bruce R. Bouchard. Bruce, this is ETV Live. You got me, bud?
Yeah, I copy.
Man, what an absolutely fantastic race that you were able to give the guys tonight, and it's not even over yet.
Oh, I know I'm sweating right now. I can't wait for this next one.
You sat back in the far back positions. I mean, you started all the way back in the back almost in 10th place out of 14 drivers tonight. And look at you, you got all the way up there to the front. I mean, you just made quick work of this field. How confident were you going into this race? I know that we've been at with trucks, Indy cars, and we've been at the big speedways, but how did you feel confident-wise coming in with the legend cars here at USA International Speedway?
I mean, I wasn't really confident coming in here. I focused on staying out of wrecks, and starting in 10th wasn't too bad to kind of see what was going on in front of me, try and avoid whatever I could. And yeah, once we got some green flag, I just tried picking them off the best I could, staying as clean as possible, and had a good run there.
A good run you did have, as that B main race is over. Bruce R. Bouchard is your winner, and he will be transferring over to the main event tonight. And Bruce, I mean, Dale Smalley, he was a major competition as he sits in first place in points. You sit in second place. You're 96 points out of the lead here with the point standings. With him gone, hey, you got a pretty good chance to gain some points in this next race.
Unfortunately, I'm going to have to miss this next race due to some personal stuff I have to take care of. But I was hoping to do the best I can these races and come back for trucks and pray it's not too bad.
All right, well, we'll see you next week, man. I'm sorry to hear that you're going to have to miss this main event. But Bruce, before we let you go, who does it for you? You got any sponsors you'd like to thank?
I just want to thank my team, Storm Motorsports, all the guys over there, and obviously I haven't said it before, but I need to thank Cora more often. They put on some good shows here.
They put on some good shows. That is one thing that you got right. Congratulations, Bruce, with the win, and we'll see you next week, bud.
Thank you.
JD, I think you're down there with Everett D. Lane, who finished third, right, man?
All right, I'll tell you what, you talk about luck. You can't buy enough luck for this cowboy. Everett, I'll tell you, it looked like Dale Smalley had it in the bag until that last caution came out, and what an upset. Of course, that means that you cruised right up into the one of the transfer spots up here, third place in that number 24 machine. What does it feel like, bud, going to the A-main?
It feels awesome. This is so much fun. I'm really enjoying myself. I haven't been doing this for about a month now, but Cora puts on a great show. This is so fun, and sorry to see that Dale got spun out there, but his misfortune is my luck, so I'm happy to be in the main.
I'll tell you what a race here at USA International. You know, these little Legends cars, this is the deal, cowboy. This is the stuff I like to watch when I go to North Carolina to Orange County Speedway. What's your experience in these cars, or is this the first time behind the wheel on a Legends car?
Well, I've been practicing all week with this Legends. I want to thank a lot of guys who helped me out with a setup. I want to thank my sponsors, my wife, who helps me out with a lot of my stuff on iRacing and Cora. I want to thank my spotter. He really helped me out through a lot of that stuff. This has been really fun. All week of practicing, and it finally paid off.
All right, cowboy, and good enough. And we just got who makes it happen for you here at Cora. Congratulations on a third-place finish here tonight, and good luck in the A-main.
Thank you very much.
All right, Ted, and our second-place driver, Ron McMahon, in the house here, driver of that number 72 machine. What a fight he put up here tonight. Go ahead with him.
Hey, Ron, this is Ted up in the ETV live booth. You got me, bud?
Yeah, I got you.
Fantastic. Well, it came down there to the nitty-gritty to the very end, and what a great show y'all put on for us in that B main race. Are you ready to go to the A main?
Oh, I'm excited. Bring it on.
Coming into this, I mean, with all these other tracks that we've seen these boys race at when it comes to trucks, Indy cars, Gen 6, I'm going to ask you the same thing. How prepared were you to come down to something completely different, almost a 180 in fact, with these legend cars at such a short track?
Well, if I'm completely honest, I'm mostly kind of a road guy, so all this oval stuff is new to me. I'm just learning as I go.
And coming down to those final laps, I mean, you know that the top 4 guys, they make it into that main race. I mean, sitting back and just holding on to that spot, how much were you looking in that rearview mirror?
Oh, I was prepared to let them go. I knew all I needed to do was get 4th, so I figured if they got way up on me there, that I'd let them by and just try to hold on to 4th there, since I saw quite a gap behind 4th.
Very modest, very truthful. I like that. All right, man. We're going to head off to the main race, but I'd like to ask before I let you go, who makes it for you? Do you got any sponsors, anybody you'd like to thank?
Yeah, just Netcode Illuminati. They pay for my races here. They got a cool little design on the car, and really appreciate their help.
Hey, congratulations on the 2nd place finish, man. Can't wait to see you in the A main event.
Thank you.
JD, take it away, man.
All right, the B main is wrapped up, and we are good to go. Cowboy, Bouchard, McMahon, Lane, and Dow are your top 4 transferring into the A main. Coming up here shortly, we're going to go ahead and step away, take a commercial break. When we come back, Cowboy, get ready. I believe it's 125 laps here at USA International Speedway. So hang on tight, go check the fridge, and get them corn dogs and Coronas ready, and get ready for some fantastic short track racing. We'll be right back, so don't wander off.
plus other listeners where you could hear everything from big 80s metal to classic rock and roll, country radio, ETV, live sports radio, even adult and unplugged rock and roll. HDRadioNetwork.com, one of the fastest growing internet radio networks, HDRadioNetwork.com. Take it with you, cowboy. Get the mobile app for Android, iPhone, iPad, and all the rest from TuneIn.com.
you guys. I'm gonna buy us the most expensive meal we've ever had. Yeah, I'd like 6,000 chicken fajitas, please.
I beg your pardon?
6,000 chicken fajitas.
And a sausage McBiscuit, please.
Billy Wynn dropped
Welcome everybody to USA International Speedway here in Lakeland, Florida for the A-Main, the main event in the Championship Online Racing Association Sunday Money doubleheader tonight. And it's going to be here at USA International Speedway with the Legend cars. A bunch of guys have jumped in already. They are warming up around the track. And, man, what a fantastic finish we just had in that B main event. Coming down to the final laps with 3 laps to go, Dale Smalley and Cody Severt ended up getting together going into turn 1, spinning out, even jumping up onto their roof. And that ended up bringing the caution and finishing the race. That race saw Bruce R. Bouchard, Ron McMahon, Everett D. Lane, and Sean Dower in the transfer spots heading over to tonight. However, one thing that we do need to make everybody aware at home is that Bruce R. Bouchard, due to conflicting things, will not be able to make the race tonight, even though he had won the race earlier today in the B main event.
Yeah, out here tonight in the A main, guys, scheduled 120 laps. Still USA International Speedway in these Legends cars. Ted, I can't believe these guys here tonight saying they can almost go the whole way on gas. Some say it's a gamble. Tires not being affected at all, really. We saw that in the last race. You only drop a few tenths off from where you started to run, maybe towards the end, get a little bit looser. But definitely, it's going to be a tough race here for all these drivers.
Yeah, and it's no longer going to be one of those things where you have to race into, something. So, I mean, when it comes down to it, now you don't have to race into anything. Now it's about points. The B main event was not about points at all. This race, the main event, is about points. And talking about points to begin with, let's actually go down and look at what's happening right now within the Championship Online Racing Association's Sunday Money Series points. Dale Smalley, the guy who ended up getting turned around and taken out of this race and will not be in this A main event, he is currently our leader in the points with 657 points. 96 points behind him, jumping up 2 spots from the week prior, and that's probably because he ended up having a doubleheader win, is Bruce R. Bouchard. That's 96 points behind the leader. Jumping up 3 spots is David Wank. In 4th place is Vincent Vinny, who dropped down 1 spot. And staying exactly where he was before, rounding out your top 5 in points, is James Brown.
Next up in points 6, you have Dallas Markle, which still seems like he's not showing. Oh, he's actually here this week. Number 48, Dallas Markle, lost 4 positions. He's missed a couple weeks this season so far. 7th place, Gordon Berkey, running every race, 195 points back. 8th place, up 3 spots, Alan Starring did a good performance earlier on in the race in the B main. He's 236 points back. 9th place, Mark Arthur, and rounding out your top 10, up 12 spots from the prior week, as many of these drivers are starting to miss a couple races here and there. He is back 308 points, 10th to 1st place, Ted. So what a gap there. That's at least 3 races somebody would have to miss to lose that many points.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what happened, but man, he jumped up 12 spots, which was absolutely amazing to see. That was pretty cool. And so, talking about Mark Montanari, something that we should make light. We gave it a little plug during the B main event, but something that they want us to get out there, because I personally think it's very cool for those who don't have something to help them with, like a crew chief or something like that. I mean, if you need one, here's the next best thing. Mark Martinari's Sim Racing Setup Analyzer. You can test the car, enter data into the analyzer after you tested it, and just like the big guys, it spits out recommendations. You can join the ranks of some of the fastest guys in sim racings by getting the equalizer and start turning your wrenches at the click of a mouse. Sim Racing Setup Analyzer, the only crew chief you'll ever need. You can find them at www.setupanalyzer.com. After that quick plug, we are going to now take it trackside for the National Anthem and for a quick presentation brought to you by the Championship Online Racing Association's Sunday Money Series. We'll be back live with the grid after that.
Welcome viewers to Championship Online Racing Association's Sunday Money Series. Drivers must qualify in one of 3 qualifiers that run Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, finishing in the top 10 to make it into the Sunday Money Race. Each Sunday Money Race will feature 9 payout positions, meaning close to 1/3 of the drivers racing on Sunday will be going to the bank on Monday. The winner of each Sunday Money Race will receive $30. Second place pays $20, $15 for third, $10 for fourth, and $5 to fifth place. In addition to the top 5 finishing positions, CORA will also pay a $5 award to the fastest qualifier, giving them the Fast Cash Award. Prior to the start of qualifying for each Sunday Money Race, a number is drawn at random. The driver qualifying in that position will be awarded a $5 Easy Money Award. The same number will be used to pay a $5 bonus for the driver finishing in that same position in tonight's race. As is the way with CORA to encourage safe, clean racing, CORA will also be paying a $5 bonus for the highest finisher with the fewest incidents outside the top 5. In addition to our drivers racing for the Sunday Money, they are also vying for the coveted CORA Championship. Points will be tallied over the season with the top 5 receiving cash awards, the winner being crowned the CORA Sunday Money Champion. Every time a driver qualifies for a Sunday Money event, their name will go into a pool for a drawing to win a year's membership of iRacing Compliments of CORA, Championship Online Racing Association, the premier series in online racing. Sunday Money Series official sponsors are Dale Smalley Drywall, The Finish is What Counts, Bart, Competition Karting, and Berkey Painting and Sandblasting. Green's Automotive, celebrating 60 years of business. A first look at the all-new 2013 Chevy Malibu. A revolutionary new touch console puts all the information where you need it. Introducing the entirely new Ford Fusion, an entirely new idea of what a car can be. And now we would like to pass off to Reverend Mark Anderson for our pre-race invocation.
Heavenly Father, we thank you that in your divine providence, you made it possible for us to be here tonight. And we ask you, Lord, to watch over our servicemen and women here and abroad. And God, that you would protect them as they protect the freedom that we enjoy. And now, Father God, we lift up to you these asphalt warriors, these high-octane gladiators who are going to risk themselves for the thrill of the race. We pray that you would increase their talents and abilities, that you would heighten their senses and awareness. God, that you would protect them and give them a race that we will never forget. God, that we can have a 3-wide, door-banging drag race to the checkered flag tonight. Yes. Father, we believe that nothing but good things are going to come to pass as soon as these men hit the gas. So, Father, we pray by faith, with joy and thanksgiving in our heart, and in the precious name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, and together, all of God's creation says, amen and amen.
And now we'd like to pass it off to our very own Jaden Berkey for today's national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And now finally, down to Gordon Berkey for the 4 most famous words in motorsports.
Gentlemen, start your engines!
And we are live once again here at USA International Speedway in Lakeland, Florida, as the boys have taken their cars out and are starting to grid on the speedway after a rousing national anthem sung by Gordon Berkey's daughter, Jaden Berkey, as well as we have Colton Berkey, his son, here in the race tonight. So, or not in the race tonight, but he races here with Cora at the Championship Online Racing Association's races on Sunday Money. So, a nice little tight-knit family there in the racing world, which is always nice to see. We have 120 laps tonight here at USA International Speedway, and if the B main race is anything to show for that, then I think we have a heck of a race ahead of us, Matt.
Yeah, definitely a heck of a race ahead of us here on the grid. Not a lot of time here with the amount of pace laps they do, so let's run them down through the field here tonight, Ted. Starting on the pole, number 73, Kenneth O'Keefe, a man who's only made 2 other starts this season, but always promised to be contending for the win. And on outside of him, Colton Berkey in the 81.
Starting in the second row, David Wank in that number 40, and Mark Jackson in the number 2.
Third row, you've got number 18, Jay Anderson, starting on the outside of him, son of Colton Berkey, Gordon Berkey.
And starting in the 7th position, number 22, Ralph Shipman, and the number 78, Michael E. Johnson. Just to clarify, Gordon Berkey is the father of Colton Berkey.
Yeah, starting right behind them, you got 19, Chris Scala, 10th, Mark Montanari.
Starting the 11th position, the number 10 of James Brown, and the number 48 of Dallas Miracle.
13th, Donald King. On the outside of him, the LO3 of Jeremy Crandall.
Starting 15th, number 54, Daryl Cronkright, and the number 38, Joshua Gaiman.
17th, the 00, Daniel Miller, and on the outside of him, 62, Michael D'Amico.
And look who has made it to this race after all. Starting 19th, the number 11, Bruce Arbachard, and finishing 2nd in the B main race, the number 72 of Ron McMahon.
Starting 21st, 24, Everett Lane, and a man who battled his doors off all race long using his bumpers, number 20, Sean Dorr, made his way into this A main as the pace car pulls off and Kenneth O'Keefe gets ready for the green flag.
Green flag up in the air, waving in front of the cars as they will take the green here at USA International Speedway. Kenneth O'Keefe in that number 73 car takes it down into the first turn, getting a huge lead, but it looks like the number 40 of David Wank got a little loose there as he starts falling back into the pack there on the backstretch, Matt.
18, and Jay Anderson looks to take it 3 wide as he's down onto the apron going into 2. Gets a little loose on the apron coming out of 4 once again, still under the 40 of David Wank. As they're coming down the front stretch, he'll lose a couple spots due to the speed.
But losing a couple spots is better than taking out half the field as he got a little bit loose, making it 3 wide down there going in that turn. But he ended up holding on to it. Whoa, the number 14, I think, back there getting way loose, slamming into the wall even, Matt.
Yeah, green flag still out. He actually holds up Bruce Arbachard going in the corner, but heavy damage to the right side of number 14. Mark Montanari just getting loose up there on the high side. He'll now spin around into the center of the track. Still green flag out. No cars coming up to him.
Yep, Mark Montanari taking his car for another spin on that front stretch. He'll toss it around, get it back straight, and he is going once again. As we go live, we are still green here at USA International Speedway. No caution out on the raceway. Looking back up at the front, Kenneth O'Keefe, your leader, still a hefty lead from your second place driver, Colton Berkey. But David Wank, looking back in that number 40 car, is trying to make quick work, or excuse me, not David Wank, Mark Jackson in that number 2 car, trying to make quick work of 81 Colton Berkey, trying to hold on to it.
Bouchard held up by the wreck back in 19th position, now trying to work his way around the the 54 as he does so, And right in front of him, Jean Dors, 54, actually heads up towards the wall like he's got some damage on that car.
Yeah, it looks like he couldn't just hold on to it as he was going off into the turn, and that brought him up into the wall. It looks like he might have kept it off of it, though. Not too much damage from hitting it, but that remains to be seen as they head on around the track some more. Looking at that number 11 of Bruce Arbachard in the 18th position, he started back in 19th, so he's going to have a long way to go, but we have 120 laps here, and even though it is a short MAC, 3/4 of a mile, it's still going to be a pretty long race for these boys. But Bruce Arbachard, he has everything to gain in this race, Matt, because someone who did not make it into this main event race, but who raced in the one before, our points leader, Dale Smalley, who ended up getting wrecked with 3 laps to go when he was in a transfer spot. And so Bruce Arbachard has everything to gain with this, because the more points he gains, the more of a gradual points lead he'll try to grab on Dale Smalley, and maybe we can have a good shootout by the end of this second season of Sunday Money Series. We will have 2 races left after this, Matt, Michigan and our season finale at Talladega.
Yeah, and looking at this season so far, Ted, these are the slowest cars they've put these guys in on the shortest track so far out of everything. They put them in Indy cars at Michigan, Cup cars at Talladega. These guys have now gone from 220 miles an hour, 200 miles an hour, down to 100 maybe entering the turn. So definitely a whole different ballpark coming into tonight's racing.
Yeah, it definitely is a whole different ballpark, because, I mean, obviously these guys are just, these cars are just totally different from what these guys are usually used to. I mean, so I asked some of the guys in the post-race interview, the ones who had won the race or come in the top 3, and they told me that coming into this, I mean, they didn't know really what to expect. I mean, you go from riding on super speedways at 200 miles an hour to racing this 0.75 mile track, you know, in the middle of nowhere, these legend cars, and it's something weird. But looking back, the number 20, I'm being told, is around Sean Dower as he spun around, but we're still under green here at USA International Speedway.
Yeah, still under green. Sean Dower just losing it, coming out of turn 4, head down into the grass, and his car actually got stuck in the wall. So they pulled that out, didn't get in the way, still under green flag here. As Kenneth O'Keefe has now extended his lead to over 3 seconds, but Colton Berkey getting a little bit of a friend coming up here for second place as Mark Jackson is trying to work his way forward.
Yeah, Mark Jackson's been all over the rear bumper of Colton Berkey tonight as he keeps on trying to make a run for that second position, and as they're running for it, Kenneth O'Keefe is just running away with that number 1 spot 3 seconds ahead of the second place of Colton Berkey.
Yeah, Bruce Arbachard's worked his way up from the 19th position to the 14th place, still following Everett Lane, who started behind him on the start, but as they work their way up through this field, quickly catching the 10 of James Brown, looking to break the top 10 in just a few laps here.
Yeah, and that's a tough break. Like we mentioned before, Sean Dower, who's 2 laps down right now, who ended up slamming into the wall and getting his car stuck in there with significant damage. He was one of the transfer spots from the B main event. Other people who are in that transfer spot, Everett Lane and Bruce Arbachard, they're the biggest runners right now, as they obviously started back in the 19th and 20th position. They're now being read in at the 13th and 14th position in the number 24 car and the number 11 car as they start making a run up to the front of the field. Another person who ended up making his run up there, that number 72 of Ron McMahon. He is trying to push his way up to the front. Long way to go still here, though, at USA International Speedway, so these guys have plenty of time to get up to the front and try to make a name for themselves tonight as the underdogs from the B main event.
Kenneth O'Keefe in a league of his own, but behind him, Mark Jackson has completed the pass for second place past Colton Berkey in the 81. Quickly catching him in the 17, his father, Gordon Berkey, bringing up Jay Anderson also with him in the top 5 position for right now. You got big guys like Dallas Markle working his way forward, and we're hearing the 24 is around.
Yeah, the 24 going down onto the backstretch right before he ended up getting into a wreck. Ended up hitting one of another driver on the track, bounced down a little bit, which got his car a little loose, and it was pretty hard for him to hold on to it once again as they came down onto the front stretch. That front stretch coming out of turn 4, Matt, we've seen both in the B main event and also in this one, it's just you get real loose. It's really slick, that lower lane, and so when you come out, your tires just end up spinning rapidly and end up going back, and he is being shown now a lap down Everett D lane. So another guy from the B main event down a lap. That's Everett D lane. Sean Dower was also, like we said earlier, part of that B main event who ended up running through. So the last two standing right now, racing up there on the lead lap, is Bruce R. Bouchard, that number 11, being shown in 12th place, and Ron McMahon in the 14th position in that number 72 car.
Yeah, both these drivers have worked their way forward, almost getting 10 positions at this point for Bruce R. Bouchard, as he's starting to work his way past a couple lap cars here, heading up for Donald King. Right in front of Donald King, though, you got Daniel E. Miller fighting off David Wink, trying to pick up the 9th place position as he's looking inside, coming into every single turn, just can't get that drive in there to make the pass.
Yeah, that 00 car of Daniel E. Miller is trying to make quick work of that number 40 of David Wank, as he will drop to the inside into turn 1, and they'll slide a little bit, hold on to it, and he'll keep moving, and it looks like if he keeps pushing, he will clear David Wank on that low side as they head off into turn number 3. David Wank, though, not really wanting to give up that spot, that 9th position. He finally will have to, though, getting a little bit loose, and someone taking advantage of that will be the 23 of Donald King as he tries to go underneath the 40 as well.
Yeah, looking up at the 6th place position, it looks like the 38 of Joshua Gaiman's trying to catch Michael Johnson to pick up that 6th place position as they both roll up on the 18 of Jay Anderson for 5th place, starting to heat up for who's going to get the top 5 here tonight.
Yep, and in this A main event, like we said, it's all about points now. You no longer have to race into anything, so it's a big deal for these guys to try to get up there and try to be able to make it to that top spot. We're looking at Joshua Gaiman right now in the number 38. He is stuck in the middle of those cars, all trying to fight for position, and that's a good race right now. That's a good race for position as he tries to get all over the back bumper of that number 18 car of Jay Anderson, trying to get that top 5. But we got a long way to go, Matt. So, I mean, it's anybody's race still right now.
Still 100 laps here to go in this race tonight with the CORA Online Racing Association. They qualify 3 nights a week. They get one shot. They get a shot here for the Sunday series. Usually they're doing super speedways, but tonight we're at the short tracks. All drivers pay a $5 entry fee, guys. That's all it takes. And a percentage of fees. As we yellow out on the track, 38 is around.
Yep, yellow out on the track. The number 38 of Joshua Gaiman gets turned around heading into turn 1. Looking back to see exactly what might have happened as they're heading off into turn 1. Just looks like he dug in way too hard, trying to race for positions. He really wanted it. I don't know if that number 18 crept up on him also, tapping on his brakes, and he ended up locking him. But those back wheels locked up, and he just turned around. One guy, a lucky person to get around that was that number 48 of Dallas Miracle, almost getting tapped and turned. But just so far, the number 38 of Joshua Gaiman, he's the only one who really saw anything bad happen to him. As caution's out on the speedway at USA International Speedway. First caution of the main event.
Yeah, looking at the field right now, Kenneth O'Keefe from the first spot position has come down pit road. He's going to pick up some tires and gas. Head towards the end of this race. That'll make Mark Jackson your leader coming to the restart.
And right behind him, Colton Berkey looking that second spot. He sits comfortably in the second position. Kenneth O'Keefe, was being red in the third position. That number 73, Gordon Berkey as well. It makes me wonder. We were talking about it before. You know how I mean, you got Jaden, Gordon Berkey's daughter, singing the national anthem. Colton Berkey, his son, racing in the Cora Sunday Money series. We didn't see him at the beginning of the season, but he randomly popped up, and you know what? He's had a couple top 5 finishes. He's done well for himself, and even tonight, he's proven himself a force that will be seen in seasons to come, hopefully, by making it to the main event. He didn't even have to race in to the main event with the B event. And, you know, Matt, that's something that should be shown, because when you have a guy, a rookie in this series, Colton Berkey, making it in to the main event, but then you have the likes of Bruce Arbachard and Dale Smalley trying to race into the main event earlier in the day. I mean, that's just gotta show how special of a driver you are, and I guess it runs in the family, because Gordon Berkey was actually racing for the championship last season at the season ender in Talladega, and Dale Smalley ended up running away with the championship that season, but Gordon Berkey was close behind. And now looking at your top 5, you got Mark Jackson, Colton Berkey, and Gordon Berkey, your father-son duo in that 2nd and 3rd spot. Jay Anderson in 4th, and Michael E. Johnson in 5th.
Yeah, and you mentioned Gordon Berkey working for that championship last season. Without Dale Smalley even making this race, Ted, Gordon Berkey's only 195 points behind. A win, I believe, in this series is worth a little over 100 points through the night, and depending on your qualifiers throughout the week, with how many points you get. So this is also going to put Gordon Berkey within one race, once again, of your points leader, no matter pretty much where he finishes tonight.
Not only that, but you got the likes of Bruce Arbachard. If he can make it a 3-peat tonight, if he can get up to that top spot and win this race, winning 3 races in a row, oh my gosh, that would just do wonders for him. He jumped up 2 spots after winning a 2nd race in a row, got in that 2nd position, 96 points behind Dale Smalley. So Dale Smalley's probably sitting at home watching this, just pulling his hair out, knowing that he had such a huge lead, and now it's going to come down to some very close racing. But you know who's not complaining, Matt? I'm not complaining, and neither are the viewers at home who watch these races from week to week, because that just means that it's going to be an intense, awesome finale that we're going to see at Talladega Superspeedway coming up in the next couple of weeks. But it's a delayed yellow, another yellow. We were going to go green, but now yellow is back out on the tracks as everybody slows up, and the pace car will come right back out onto the speedway, Matt.
Yeah, caution right back out the speedway. Not quite sure what it was for. I believe it was a late EOL penalty for Joshua Gaiman who caused that yellow, and he'll have to head all the way to the back and start his race over, even behind the lap cars tonight, guys. So definitely a lot of work on his plate, not to mention he's still a lap down.
Yeah, he's still a lap down, so it's gonna be pretty hard to come back from that. I mean, if you got a couple cautions come out, you might be able to make yourself back up there, get back on the lead lap. But once again, pace car down onto the pit road. Green flag this time will fly. It's up in the air. Mark Jackson takes him down into turn 1. But Colton Berkey holding on to it. He will try to fight for that number 1 spot as he sits in 2nd place with Jay Anderson in that in the number 18 car, looking right behind him.
Yeah, as I'm watching through the back, 73 Kenneth O'Keefe carving his way up and through the field, sticking right behind another quick car, Bruce Arbachard, as they're working their way past the number 19, Chris Scala.
One thing I've noticed is that the lap cars did not go to the end of the tail end of the lead lap, so these guys are a little bit scratched out. You know, they're a little bit spread out from one another. That number 18 of Jay Anderson, he's stuck in between Everett D. Lane, who's a lap down, and so he's going to have a lot of work to make up. Up in the front, Mark Jackson still sitting in 1st in that number 2 car, and all he's got to worry about right now is that Colton Berkey in the number 81. And so with these lap cars being stuck in the middle, it kind of mixes things up, and it's going to be pretty interesting as the night goes on, Matt.
Yeah, 18 of Jay Anderson just working his way around the 20 of Sean Dower, who's 3 laps down, currently in last place, showing on the scoreboard, but not giving up tonight. So far, Ted, we've still got about 15 cars on the lead lap as yellow is out on the speedway.
And we're just being told now that the 11 car is around on the speedway, and that is of Bruce Arbachard. That's the guy who raced himself in and who's 2nd in points right now. It looks like as he head down into the turn, he wiggled a little bit, overcorrected, and just spun it around in between turns 1 and 2. But he got right back up on the throttle and got underway. But once again, under caution here at USA International Speedway, after Bruce Arbachard, a man who raced his way into this race, took a spin between turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, going for a ride. Still a man that worked his way up quite a few positions off that last restart. 73 Kenneth O'Keefe. I necessarily would never say it's a smart move to pit this early and put yourself back there, Ted. As I've seen time and time again here on ETV Live that these guys get wrecked and just never make it back up.
Yeah, and we're about 20 minutes into this race already, and we're already 36 laps in. And so, I mean, these 120 laps are going to go by pretty fast, in my opinion. But, I mean, don't go away from your computer, because we'll be right back here on ETV Live with the Championship Online Racing Associations. We'll be back after these commercial breaks.
Plus other listeners where you could hear everything from big 80s metal to classic rock and roll, country radio, ETV, live sports radio, even adult and unplugged rock and roll. HDRadioNetwork.com, one of the fastest growing internet radio networks, HDRadioNetwork.com. Take it with you, cowboy. Get the mobile app for Android, iPhone, iPad, and all the rest from TuneIn.com.
InsideSimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
We're back live here at USA International Speedway. We're on lap 38 out of 120. Mark Jackson being shown as your leader. Colton Berkey is number 81 in second. Jay Anderson in third. Gordon Berkey in fourth. And Michael E. Johnson rounding out your top five. We're under caution after the number 11 of Bruce Arbachard took a little spill between turns 1 and 2. He sits back in the 14th position, still in the lead lap with Ron McMahon and Everett D. Lane behind him, as well as David Wank.
Yeah, and definitely Bruce Arbachard lucky not to get any damage, it appear, off that last wreck he had as he went just for a loop around, so he'll probably restart here at the tail end of the field, but still on the lead lap, which is great news for that driver.
Definitely great news for him. Pace car into the pit lane. Green flag up in the air. Mark Jackson taking him to the line as we are back to green flag racing here at USA International Speedway. That number 22 car kind of fell off the pace real quick, fell back real quick. That's Ralph Shipman. He's 4 laps down. Looking back up at the front, Mark Jackson making a hard move, but someone who ended up taking advantage right on that restart was the number 18 of Jay Anderson, taking that second spot away from Colton Berkey almost immediately as he sets his sights on our leader, Mark Jackson.
Yeah, a strong move. He made it across Colton Berkey. Gordon Berkey had a little bit off of a restart and fell back. Same thing, Dallas Markle trying to work his way up, but had a little bit of an off restart as they're going down the backstretch here.
And off down the back stretch, it is lap 41 of 120, so we have a long time to go. A lot of time for these guys to take a breath and not do anything silly, because this race is all about the points, unlike the B main event that we showed earlier today for y'all. So making quick work, looking back up to second position, Colton Berkey trying to make a look to the inside of Jay Anderson. He wants that second position back, but he got below that yellow line and wiggled a little bit. That'll lose him some ground and some time as Jay Anderson starts to pull away once again, heading off into 1.
00 went to look inside of the 48 Davis Markle. Daniel Miller is going to slide up because Kenneth O'Keefe tried to look to the inside of him all at the same time, and it was just going to become a bad situation quick. Kenneth O'Keefe will have the advantage on the low line going into 3 as he just lets him cruise on by. Once again, Kenneth O'Keefe staying the class of the field.
Yeah, Kenneth O'Keefe showing in that number 7 position, now in the number 6 position as he works on Dallas Miracle. Dallas Miracle taking the very high line up high, and Kenneth O'Keefe will go right below him with ease. And now he tries to set his sights on that number 10 car. That's a lap car, James Brown. He will do that with ease as he goes down below. These lap cars are really making it pretty hard for these guys. Dallas Miracle touching that 00 car, and that 00 car will spin. The 00 of Daniel E. Miller spinning down the front stretch, and I think that will bring out a caution as more cars slam into him, gaining more damage, still stuck in the middle, but he will be back underway. Let's look back, Matt. Matt, do you got it? You want to tell us what happened?
Yeah, it looks like just coming off the turn, the not the 00, but the 48 Dallas Miracle gets loose on that high side, just comes right dive bombing down into the hopeless Daniel Miller and the 00, sending them both for a ride as 48 Dallas Miracle still hits the inside wall. And just Daniel Miller trying to get going on there, gets slammed in by, I believe, the 54 of Dale Cronkright, and he'll just have a lot heavier damage on the back of that machine.
Yeah, and bad news for Dallas Miracle, who also ended up taking a quick spill down there and slammed into the wall. Another person who got massive damage from that wreck was one of our spot clear from the B main event, and that's Ron McMahon, who ended up hitting the number 00 there as he was stuck on the backstretch. So that's something that happened as well, as we're under caution once again here at USA International Speedway.
Yeah, under caution again tonight. Lap 47, so like you said earlier on, tuning in, rolling through these races right through to the end. Hey guys, we're going to take a moment here to allow a little bit of a shout out. Let's go for the simulation racing cockpit designed by no other but a championship race car driver, Bob Earl. Who better than a real race car driver to design a racing cockpit after all? He knows what it means to be comfortable when you're racing. The design features fully adjustable seat and frame. You get an additional monitor stand and shifter mount that he sells separately. Proud to sponsor a lot of our series here on ETV Live, featuring 2013 RSR Full Cup Throttle Series, a high quality and affordable virtual racing cockpit priced at just $349 plus shipping. You can see this all at BobEarlRacing.com. Once again, go see this racing cockpit. It's worth the time. BobEarlRacing.com. And
we're still under caution here at USA International Speedway. We want to take this chance and opportunity to thank three very special people to us here at ETV Live, and that's the administration crew of the CORA Series, the Championship Online Racing Association, who puts on this Sunday Money Series every Sunday night for y'all at home to enjoy. And it seems like they're all racing tonight. At one point, the CEO, James Brown, currently sitting in the 18th position in his number 10 car. He's the CEO of CORA, the Championship Online Racing Association. Gordon Berkey, the Vice President, currently sitting in your top 4. He is also part of that administration crew. And also Chief Officiator Kevin McCarthy, who I think was racing in the race earlier today in the B main event, and so we got to see him show his stuff as he went around, and he's the chief officiator of the Championship Online Racing Association. So we'd like to extend our thanks from the ETV Live family to you guys sitting at home watching this race or participating in it, because without you, we would not be able to show all the people at home on a Sunday night exactly how much fun racing can be here on the iRacing simulation computer game.
Yeah, thanks to all these guys out there. Another one that I know is always helping us, Ted Allen Larson, who's unfortunately not racing in this race tonight, but always behind the scenes helping us out and getting us coordinated. So gotta say thank you to him too.
Definitely, because without him, I mean, every time we come into the pit to or into TeamSpeak, into the booth, and we sit down and get ready and go over our notes before the race. Alan Larson's always there to see if we're all right, see if we need anything, go over some notes, and help us along the way as well. So thank you very much to him as well. He always helps us get things right here on ETV Live for the Sunday Money series. But we're back to green here at USA International Speedway, lap 51 out of 120. Mark Jackson being shown as your leader still. Jay Anderson in the number 18, Colton Berkey in 3rd, Gordon Berkey in 4th, and Kenneth O'Keefe in 5th place, rounding out your top 5.
Caution already back out here on the speedway as we're looking around for what might have happened coming through the final turns of this first lap. It looks like we might have a car actually upside down. It's the 54 I see upside down here right now, Ted.
Yeah, the 54, it looks like of Daryl Cronkright, as he was coming down the backstretch going into turn 3, just got loose, might have cut down a tire because it sent him hard into the inside wall, up over top onto his, almost onto his roof there, as a couple of other cars took some hard licks from him as well, and they will take that crippled car who's already 5 laps down to begin with onto pit road so his guys can go over it, but it might look like his day is over, Matt.
Yeah, and he also collected the 72 of Ron McMahon and the 24 of Everett Lane. So 2 people coming from our B main that finished and raced their way all the way into here. Heartbreak stories for them as they'll both carry damage and have to go down pit road again.
However, one thing to mention for them, though, is they are not quite a lap down yet, so that's always something to at least be a little happy about, because, I mean, if they were a lap down, then they would have had a lot more to work towards to try to get up there and win this race today. We still have a lot of time left. We are only on lap 54 out of 120. If cautions, like I always say, breed cautions, then we're going to see a lot more to begin with. So, it's going to be interesting to see exactly what happens. We got a long way to go still. Mark Jackson being our dominant leader for the majority of the race today, he still sits in that number 1 spot and that number 2. And so it'll be pretty interesting to see exactly what kind of strategy these boys start to get, what they start thinking about when it comes down to it in the end. So we're still under caution here, USA International Speedway. I think it's our 5th caution of the night. Stay with us because I have a feeling, Matt, we're gonna have some good racing as the time winds down.
Yeah, these guys line up single file every time by 10, like you said. Lap cars kind of just start in wherever they were when the caution came out. So they've thrown some chicanes in here through the field with a lot of these hurt cars that just can't get up to speed right away, making it extra difficult with these guys who are trying to race for the lead.
Yeah, definitely. That does kind of throw a curveball into it when you think about it, because usually you have those. They either go to the end of the line or they're up there on the inside, you know. So I mean, there's always been that rule where they kind of get out of the way and they won't be in the way of the main cars. However, that is not the case tonight, as they just kind of fall in the line, and whoever's stuck in the middle there, well, I mean, hopefully they can get around you, you know. So it's just something that they have to take into effect, and they're gonna have to look for. As Michael D'Amico is a lucky dog, he gets waved around the pace car, and he will fall back up onto the lead lap. Another guy to make note: Everett D. Lane, one of the people who raced into this race from the B main event, has gone a lap down, so that's something to take note for as well. Sean Dower in that number 20 car who raced in, he is 3 laps down, and the lap cars go all the way down to about the 17th position, 16th position, so we still have 15 cars on the lead lap as the pace car jumps in, and we are back to green here at USA International Speedway.
Yeah, back to green flag racing. Mark Jackson still leading out the field, and Jay Anderson following behind him. Colton Berkey rounding out the top 3. Kenneth O'Keefe pit earlier on from these front guys, went all the way to the back of the tail on the lead lap guys, and has worked his way back up to 4th, Ted. So an amazing story there. I'm sure he's looking soon to be back on to the point.
Yeah, he's making quick work of that number 81 of Colton Berkey as he jumps down to the inside and easily takes the 3rd position away from him. As they head off onto the backstretch, he will now try to set his sights on the number 18 of Jay Anderson and get that 2nd spot away. Just like we saw Bruce Arbachard absolutely... Whoa! He slams into the back of the number 18 there as he got a huge run, and he holds on to it, but he lost a lot of ground there. Still sitting in 3rd place, but everybody had to check up. That was a close one, Matt.
Yeah, as he checks up, just a quick update on some people involved in that last accident. Everett Lane still down on pit road, 4 laps down now, and looking to go a little bit more before he gets out here.
Yeah, also, Daryl Cronkwright has taken his beat-up car behind the wall after that vicious crash on the front stretch earlier on in the race. But looking back up in front, Mark Jackson still holding on to that top spot because everybody is trying to race for position behind him. Jay Anderson, that number 18, has that number 73, Kenneth O'Keefe, all over his back bumper. Kenneth O'Keefe, just 2 laps ago, wiggled and lost a lot of ground on him, now has picked it back up. As I was saying before he got a little bit loose as he tries to dive to the bottom of that number 18 car, is that we're seeing the type of speed and the type of racing from Kenneth O'Keefe as he takes away 2nd place from Jay Anderson right there that we saw back in the B main event with Bruce Arbachard. Bruce Arbachard had an absolutely horrifyingly fast car. He had a very fast car, made his way all the way from last place up to the front, won the race, won his way into the main event tonight. And we're seeing that kind of speed from Kenneth O'Keefe in that number 73 car as he's all over the back bumper of Mark Jackson. A feat that cars have not been able to do all tonight as he jumps to the inside and will take away that top spot from Mark Jackson, new leader here at USA International Speedway.
Yeah, Kenneth O'Keefe back out front as he's sliding around coming out of turn 4, it looked like, as he's just looking to pull away to his little 3-second lead he had earlier on again. But the battle up front not over. Jay Anderson quickly closing in on the 2 of Mark Jackson, looking for his top spot there as he goes and works on him for the next couple laps.
Yeah, it looks like Mark Jackson, now that he's fallen back a spot, the other cars are starting to catch up. They know that he is no longer immortal up there in that top spot. He can fall back, and so Jay Anderson, that 18 car, will try to make quick work of him and get by him for that 2nd spot, so Kenneth O'Keefe doesn't just run away with that lead. But talking about earlier, that number 11 car of Bruce Arbachard, who is currently sitting in 9th place right now, he is trying to work his way up to the front after starting in the back after racing his way in from the B main event tonight. Bruce Arbachard currently sits in 2nd place in points right now, right behind 96 points out of the lead from Dale Smalley, who is your points leader. And Dale Smalley did not race his way into this race tonight, so he sits on the sideline and hopes that that his points lead doesn't dwindle away as the laps tick down here at USA International Speedway. Bruce Arbachard sitting in that 9th place spot, trying to look on Michael E. Johnson to get 8th place away. He wants to get up there. He wants those points badly, Matt.
Yeah, I'm watching this up front right now, though, Ted. Mark Jackson, the first competitor all night to show some speed that could keep up with Kenneth O'Keefe out front as he chased him down 2/10 the last lap, and it looks like they'll be staying even this lap as they go into 1. So definitely some more speed coming out of the 2 of Mark Jackson tonight as they go later on into this race.
Yeah, Mark Jackson still only .227 behind the leader, and he wants that lead back. He's upset with himself that Kenneth O'Keefe ended up taking it away from him, and it's not a lead that we have seen someone absolutely just get away from it before. You know what I mean? I mean, we saw with Mark Jackson, it was really hard for a lot of people to catch up to him and get up there to the front. But Kenneth O'Keefe was able to do it. But now Mark Jackson, he doesn't fall back. He's racing for it. He wants it bad. But looking back in the 3rd position, Jay Anderson, that 18, and Colton Berkey in the 81, they are fighting hard for that 3rd position. Colton Berkey looks to the bottom side, heading off into 1. He wants to take it away from Jay Anderson, and it looks like he will clear him going on to the backstretch.
Colton Berkey stalking Jay Anderson for a long time throughout this race and losing it a couple times. But it looks like Jay Anderson's not happy with it. He'll head back into the inside going into 3. And coming out of 4, Anderson's still on the low side coming down the front stretch.
Yeah, Anderson trying to hold on to it tight as he drives it hard into 1, goes below the yellow line, but he will pop back up and he'll take that spot away from Colton Berkey. But Colton Berkey still driving hard on Jay Anderson's rear bumper. It doesn't look like he's too happy with that, and he'll try to get back up there and get that third position away from him. He wants to be on the podium tonight, and I don't blame him, Matt.
On a closer night, Ted, Mark Jackson's taking that 2/10 of a second lead off of Kenneth O'Keefe down to a 1/10 of a second as they were beating bumpers through the turns just not too long ago. As Kenneth O'Keefe's kind of giving himself a little bit of room once again, but still Mark Jackson giving it all he's got up front here on these older tires.
Lap 71 out of 120 laps. We've had some good green flag racing after we've gone back to green here at USA International Speedway. Mark Jackson, making quick work of the 73, but we're getting word now that there is a car around, Matt.
Yeah, 38 machine of Joshua Gaiman's going around, it looks like, under this caution. Trying to watch as he comes into 3, it looks like it almost starts. He gets a little loose going off into the turn, catches the apron coming off. 38 just spins into the middle of the course and catches that 03 of Jeremy Crandall towards the end of his wreck, as we see 62 going through the grass to avoid.
Yeah, both those cars took heavy hits and both slammed into the wall as they spun off that quarter. Bad luck, just absolutely bad luck for Jeremy Crandall as he tried to escape up high that wreck, but he just had nowhere to go as he got slammed into by Joshua Gaiman. So heavy damage to both cars, but they got back underway, came down. Right now, the number 30 of Joshua Gaiman's in pit road. He will slide into his pit stall to fix some of that damage. We are under caution here, once again, at USA International Speedway. Kenneth O'Keefe in that number 1 spot. Mark Jackson in 2nd, Jay Anderson in 3rd, Colton Berkey in 4th, and Donald King in 5th, rounding out your top 5.
Yeah, strong showing here tonight out of Chris Scala. Started towards the back here. He's worked his way up to that 6th place position, number 19 machine. Looking down here on pit road, guys, got the 38, Joshua Gaiman, down here getting his damage fixed and heading back out. 54 hasn't quite packed it up. That's Daryl Cronkite. He's still sitting down here on pit road getting his damage fixed, so definitely don't. He might be able to pick up a few more positions here with these cars that keep wrecking out.
Yeah, they brought his car back out onto the pit lane. They said we can fix it, we can get it going once again, and he will try to get out there for points. But right now, it's anybody's race to win. Kenneth O'Keefe definitely has a very strong car. Bruce Arbachard had a very fast one also, as he sits in the 9th position. He's in the top 10, and he wants this win bad. Talked to him when he had won. We talked to him when he had won the race last time. And so he wants this bad. He told me that himself, and so we'll have to see exactly what happens, Matt.
Yeah, definitely watching exactly what happens. Mark Jackson, Jay Anderson, and Colton Berkey all on the tires they started this race with, trying to chase down Kenneth O'Keefe, who pit about 20 to 30 laps somewhat into this race, thinking maybe pick up a few gas, tires, helps him out in these last 20 laps. But I mean, obviously he's been able to work his way around everybody back up there to prove he is the fastest man out here all day long.
Yeah, and it turns out getting those tires was not a bad idea at all, as he was able to get his way back up there. At first we thought it was a bad idea, but it ended up being pretty good. So we're on lap 76 out of 120 laps. While we're still under caution, I want to make a quick break and tell you all that coming soon to ETV Live Radio, join JD Webb, Dakota Ehrman, and Jimmy North for an hour of rewind, looking back at previous events with interviews from drivers and crew chiefs. Also, JD Webb, the authority on BS and back talk. The crew chooses topics from various sources of the Ranabout, and it's an all-new show. Fun and entertaining rewind, BS, and back talk coming soon to ETV Live Radio. So if you guys want to take a trip back to memory lane, hear about all the great races that have happened this past week, I guarantee you a CORA race will be on there, or maybe even 2 of them. And so that's a very exciting show that we'll be able to bring to you here on ETV Live. And so look for that on your normal scheduling, and hopefully we can get that out to you in time. Also, someone to talk about. You can't have ETV Live Radio without the HD Radio Network. Home of ETV Live Radio, the HD Radio Network gives you a variety of stations to choose from, including big 80s metal, all HDR classics, all HDR country, and more. Take your pick and rock your brains out, dude. HD Radio Network stations are featured on iTunes Radio, TuneIn Radio, and also listed in the Windows Media Guide. Listen today from HDRadioNetwork.com or take it with you. Get the mobile app from TuneIn.com.
Back green flag racing here at USA International Speedway. Kenneth O'Keefe off to a great start here on that one. Jay Anderson right on the back bumper. Mark Jackson not letting him pull away this time as he wants to work his way back up to at least a second place finish tonight. But still a strong run out of these guys as they're mostly single file to about 8th place.
Yeah, Kenneth O'Keefe, though, still your main leader as he heads onto the backstretch. Mark Jackson trying to catch up, but Kenneth O'Keefe has a huge lead. Looking back in the 3rd and 4th spot, they're trying to get up there. They're fighting each other. Jay Anderson and Colton Berkey. I'd say they're rivals for tonight. So that's pretty crazy. 38, and we're being told now the 38 and the 44 have been parked behind the wall, and so that's something to let out there.
Yeah, I'm looking at about 10th place here. Dallas Markle trying to hang on to it. David Wink works his way around. Works his way around him, knocking him out of the top 10. Davis Wink pulling out the top 10 for tonight. Bruce Arbichard has held strong in 9th place as he's going to the inside of number 78, Michael Johnson, looking to pick up 8th place, but can't quite do it there on that turn.
Yeah, Kenneth O'Keefe in the number 73 just absolutely has a huge run. And so he's out there. But Mark Jackson, he's actually started to gain some ground on him, brings it to 0.336 seconds, and so he will try to race for it as they head off into 3 and 4. He's doing a good job making his way up there. It looks like Mark Jackson is the only one that's able to compete with Kenneth O'Keefe as they head onto the front stretch and making it lap 83 out of 120.
Yeah, as I'm watching up through the field, Mark Jackson still not letting Kenneth O'Keefe pull away here. He's just hanging on to about 0.3 of a second lead. Looking back through the field for battles right now, you got Gordon Berkey now coming up on David Wink, trying to pick out that 11th place spot and work his way to the front. He wasn't up in 4th not too long ago, Ted, so I'm trying to think about what happened to him. Maybe Pitt came down for tires that we didn't quite catch. But anyways, Gordon Berkey back out of the top 10 at this point, but a strong car all night long.
Yeah, looking back in that pack, David Wayne, Gordon Berkey, and Dallas Miracle, all big names that we have talked about before. They're all fighting for that 11th, 12th, and 13th position. Or not 13th, but 10th, 11th, and 12th, excuse me. And so they try to fight their way back up there to the front. And they all have very strong cars, so if it was something like a pit, then I'm pretty sure they'll be right back up there. But it's funny, having the legends here racing at this short track, a lot of these big guys, big names that we see up there in the front, in the top 5 or top 10, they're no longer there anymore. They're in the back. So I think it's pretty evident that switching to a short track with these with these legend cars really has confused these drivers and really has thrown them for a loop as to what to do. So I don't know. I personally like the fact that they introduced the legend cars halfway through the season or as the season's wrapping up to kind of mix things up, because it's certainly going to mix things up in the point standings.
Yeah, definitely throwing a whole different ball game. Like we said, this is usually the CORA Championship Online Racing Association Super Speedway Series. Well, obviously we're not in a Super Speedway and non-Super Speedway cars, so tonight throws that wrench into the championship points for these drivers as they're coming into like the second half of their season. 3/4 of the way through this race, lap 88, Ted. Very few cautions. The big cautions, though, coming out. But Jay Anderson, number 18, up running strong all night long, quickly sliding back as 00. Daniel Miller looking to get around him, followed by Bruce Bichard.
Yeah, that number 18 car of Jay Anderson really fell back a bunch, and maybe he got a little bit loose, and these other cars really took that to their advantage, because Daniel E. Miller trying to pick up that side draft as he heads into turn 1 and will get underneath him. And now also looking to his inside is that number 11 of Bruce Arbachard, who is now in 8th place. He's trying to get that spot away so he can be in 7th place, maybe even 6th place, and get up there. He has a lot to prove. He raced himself into this race, and we were talking about point standings. He's in 2nd place in points, and our points leader, Dale Smalley, is nowhere to be seen. He was not able to race himself in, but whoa, the number 18 there, Jay Anderson, getting real loose going into the turn. I've seen this a couple laps ago. He ended up going into the grass on the front stretch, and so maybe he's got a little bit of a handling issue, maybe some damage to his car, Matt.
Yeah, possibly a handling issue. I mean, like I said, a lot of these guys are not pitting all race long, but I just finally took their toll on those tires. 0-0 around. That's Daniel E. Miller. He's sliding up in 2. It doesn't look like any contact, but it looks like a couple other cars sent around trying to avoid the wreck.
Yeah, a couple of the cars definitely getting turned around to try to avoid the wreck. Another car that ended up getting some damage was the 18 as he got into the inside retaining wall as he got a little bit loose. Another car who went for a spin afterwards was that number 40 of David Wank, but he got back around and is starting to head off on his own quite well. But it seems to me that we might still... the 0-0, we're just being told now in my ear by one of our head honchos here, JD Webb. You heard him a little earlier. Has told me the 0-0 car of Daniel E. Miller will be parked because of the 2 caution rule. The 2 caution rule is that if you have caused 2 cautions, they will park your car, and so he will bring that down to pit road and park it after causing an infraction with the 2 caution rule.
Yeah, guys. And this rule came out of a team meeting they had last weekend. They always have meetings with every single driver involved post-race. And 2 weeks ago, I believe I joined in on that. They thought too many cautions going on in this series. They got to liven it up a little bit and give these guys a little bit of a threat when they cause them. So bringing in that new rule has definitely helped out with the amount of cautions we've had here tonight.
Definitely, especially when you look at last week and there's only 3 cautions in total, so that's something to take note of with the fantastic racing that they've had here. There has been a lot of, I wouldn't say a lot, but there's been a few cautions tonight, as well as the B main event, but that's just to be seen, you know, because I mean you switch from driving Indies, Indy cars or Gen 6 cars at 200 miles an hour, and then all of a sudden you come down top speed of like 40 or 100 miles an hour on these short tracks. That's to be seen because of the drastic difference. But we're under caution here at USA International Speedway. Stay with us on ETV Live. We'll be back after these commercial break.
InsideSimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
Landon Huffman coming to a comfortable lead, coming out of 2. He's got about 8 car lengths, put it half a second over Dwayne Vincent as Chad Cole works the number 2 spot.
Time is running out. Vincent's got it. Cole wants it to the wall. Chevrolet puts the bumper to the 13 of Vincent. Vincent not backing down. He's in second. You know, and we got 1 car on the bottom of the 10 car.
We're back live here at USA International Speedway. We're back to grid actually, as the number 73 of Kenneth O'Keefe take him down into turn 1 and 2 and onto the back stretch. Looking back though, I want to take us back to that 4th position there, with Chris Scala in that number 19 car getting a little loose on the restart, but I want to look at the guy that's right next to him. That's Bruce R. Bouchard in his number 11 car in 5th place now. Top 5. Raced himself in with a win in the main event, or the B event here earlier today. That was the qualifying race. He got himself in. He raced himself in after winning the race, and now he sits in the top 5 as he tries to work his way up there to the front. But he's going to have a couple other cars and a couple other drivers to compete with, in the likes of the number 48 of Dallas Miracle, who also has worked his way up there to the front, and with the number 18 of Jay Anderson, who has been up in the front all day long. So Bruce R. Bouchard is going to have a couple of people to fight with, especially that of the number 73, Kenneth O'Keefe, who just has an absolutely huge lead on our 2nd place car, Mark Jackson.
Yeah, and Donald King, who's a new name up front tonight. That team that he's on has been struggling all night long in different wrecks involved. He's one of the few cars still left from them, and he's just trying to make something out of it and get a top 3 finish with his team. Chris Scala, teammate, following him.
Yeah, they both want to try to show that they got some stuff left in them. Names that we have not seen either in a long time or almost at all with this series making their debut, or kind of poking their head in to show that they're still here with us in the sim racing community. Donald King, one of those new names that we haven't seen before. Chris Scala we've seen around, but not as prevalent as some of those big names, such as Bruce R. Bouchard, Gordon Berkey, such like that. Kenneth O'Keefe still sitting in your top spot, but a car I want to look back at, as they're in a mess of a little battle back there, is that number 24 car of Everett D. Lane. He's 34 laps down, but the car right behind him, that number 40, he had a problem earlier on. He sits in 11th position. David Wank, he's trying to get his way back up there to try to fight his way. He's still on the lead lap, sitting in 11th position, with only Michael D'Amico and Gordon Berkey right behind him.
Ted watching the Bouchard and Scala battle still, as they're still side by side, and not only are they side by side, they're catching the 23 of Donald King at the same time. But yellow out here on the track with the 103.
Yeah, 103 laps out of 120, caution out on the speedway. It ends up being Gordon Berkey, who was in 13th position at the time. He has brought out another caution out on the speedway. Looking back to see exactly what might have happened, but we're now being told that it was James Brown that ended up bringing out the caution, and Gordon Berkey just gets heavy damage trying to avoid the wreck that James Brown ended up causing. Looking at that wreck, they're heading off into turn 1 and 2. It seems he dug in a little too deep. He got really loose, tapped the inside wall, and just could not hang on to it and spun it around. Gordon Berkey, coming full force at him at full speed, trying to get by, just locks up his brakes and spins out and slams it to the wall. James Brown, as we mentioned before, is the CEO of the CORA Championship Online Racing Association. So shout out to the CEO bringing out the caution out here on the speedway. Lap 102 out of 120.
Yeah, definitely late race caution here to shake some things off. I think Kenneth O'Keefe was kind of teasing Mark Jackson though when he was catching him, because O'Keefe pulled away by quite a bit on that last restart, guys. But strategy coming in here in the closing laps. We'll see who thinks they could make it, who didn't know they could make it from the beginning. It looks like O'Keefe probably planned on not being able to make it as he took that early pit stop.
Yeah, he took the early pit stop, and I think that almost maybe solidified him for the rest of the race. He sits up there in that top spot. Mark Jackson, really the only other guy who's been really competing for that top spot, and who's shown that he can fight for it and get up there. But I wouldn't count cards out yet for Bruce R. Bouchard, that number 11 car, as he's raced himself into this race, and he sits in the top 5 right now. And he has a very strong car. He's a very competitive driver. And so I think we'll see on this restart just how he handles it, because it's all about the restarts here. Because when you go in those turns, once you got that inside line, if you can hold it, then you got it. We're about an hour into this race now, 107 laps in out of 120. We're going to go back to green right after this. Kenneth O'Keefe leads with Mark Jackson in second, Donald King in third, Chris Scala fourth, and Bruce R. Bouchard rounding out your top 5.
Yeah, when these guys get going green, Ted, there'll be about 12 laps to go when they take the green, or a little over 10. So far tonight, showing up the field, Kenneth O'Keefe going from the back to the front, just weaving his way in and out and pulling away by a couple seconds. David Wink struggling, even though he's able to stay right about the 10th place position. Back in the field, guys, 10th, Colton Berkey, a rookie here, son of Gordon Berkey. Just showed all his strength early on in this race, had to make a pit stop, no choice, and went to the back. But he's still looking to pull out the top 10 and possibly even a top 5 if he's aggressive enough here on the restart. Big points night, though, for a couple guys here like Bruce R. Bouchard, Gordon Berkey trying to get his way back into a one-race deal, or even somebody like Bruce R. Bouchard trying to take the points lead coming out of tonight's race in that number 11 machine. You got people like Kenneth O'Keefe, though. He's done, this will be his 3rd race of the season, showing strong in all 3 of them as they're coming back to the green flag, trying to pick up his 2nd win for the CORA Online Championship Racing Association here on Sunday nights.
Yeah, they're not really, you know, they're really trying to enforce this caution rule. Every wreck that ends up happening, if you cause, you got an EOL penalty, end of the line for you. But if you got that 2nd one, then you're sent to the garage pack, and you got to park your car because you've caused one too many cautions. And we've seen that as the time goes by with these races, that that rule had to have been implemented. I think it was back at Daytona or one of the speedways this year, maybe even Talladega, where it was, oh my God, it was just a wreck fest. We had so many wrecks that race. It was absolutely ridiculous. And so they almost didn't even make their cutoff time for the race. So, I mean, something had to have been done. They listened to the drivers, they listened to the people who watch it, and they took that in consideration, and they implemented that 2 caution rule, which I don't know about you, Matt, but I actually think it's a very good rule that they had implemented.
Definitely a good rule out of these guys as they're coming in these closing laps. 10 to go. This time by, they're going to take up 9 to go as Kenneth O'Keefe comes out of 4 and down the front stretch. The whole line of cars following him, single file, got this thing pretty much figured out heading to the end, but got to still try and make your moves and pick up as many positions as possible. Bruce R. Bouchard struggling on that restarts, moved his way all the way back to 9th place, got caught out there on the high side and passed by a slew of cars all in one lap.
I was about to say, he really fell back a lot of positions. He started that restart in 5th place, had a top 5, and now has fallen back to 9th place. With Dale Smalley, our championship points leader, not racing tonight, I think a top 10 is something that Bruce R. Bouchard can be happy about anyways, because he will get a significant amount of points where Dale Smalley will get 0. But Bruce R. Bouchard not giving up yet. He still wants some more positions, and he probably will get some by the time that this race is over. But at 114 laps out of 120, it is time to crunch it down. It is crunch time, ladies and gentlemen, as Kenneth O'Keefe still sitting in 1st place, but Mark Jackson just absolutely reeling him in. He is racing as hard as he can to get up there, to get that top spot away from Kenneth O'Keefe.
Yeah, trying to get away the top spot here at USA International Speedway, trying to finally reel him in as he did before, saving tires on the last run. Heading it up as they come around this time, they'll take the 5 to go mark. And Kenneth O'Keefe pretty much trying to smooth sail his way into the top cash spot, as many of these drivers are going to get payouts today. I believe all the way down to 5th place tonight is going to see some money.
Yep, Kenneth O'Keefe takes 5 laps to go here out on the speedway, but Mark Jackson keeps on trying to reel him in. He wants that top spot, and to be honest, it's up to those two as they have gotten a 1-second lead on the 3rd place car of Donald King. Mark Jackson all over the rear bumper of Kenneth O'Keefe. 4 laps to go here at USA International Speedway as they head off into turn 1 and 2. It's Kenneth O'Keefe's race to lose. Mark Jackson is right behind him and trying to reel him in and try to get that top spot away from him.
Yeah, trying to get the top spot away from him in tonight's race. As Kenneth O'Keefe comes to about the 2 to go next time by, he will take the 2 to go ahead and win this race.
Yeah, he'll have 2 to go this time by coming up. He has gotten a bigger lead on Mark Jackson, but Mark Jackson is just driving it hard into those turns. He's trying to gain as much ground possible as he can, and it seems he could have picked up 2/100ths of a second on him that time by, as we have 2 laps to go here at USA International Speedway.
Yeah, you got 2 laps to go. Mark Jackson's got to get it done coming into these closing laps. He's got 0.2 of a second to pick up as they'll come around to take the white flag this time by, really closing in on that bumper of Kenneth O'Keefe within bumping distance if he wants to make that kind of a move.
Coming on turn 2, in onto the back stretch. White flag was in the air. Now it's the checker flag that the flagpole handler has it in his hand. Kenneth O'Keefe in 1st place. Mark Jackson trying to reel him in. 78 is around on the speedway as they come around. It will be Kenneth O'Keefe taking the checkered flag here at USA International Speedway. He gets
3
first
wide
place.
finish. Sorry to cut you off. There's a 3 wide finish for 4th place coming out. Chris Skull is going to pull out 3rd. This is Donald King, Dallas Markle wrecking after the line. Donald King got 4th, and rounding out the top 5 ended up being Markle, although they all tried to squeeze their cars in there at the same time coming across the line.
What a fantastic finish here at USA International Speedway. A 100% great race event in total. We had a doubleheader with the B event earlier today, which saw the winner Bruce R. Bouchard get. Then we have the A event that saw Kenneth O'Keefe winning, with Mark Jackson and Chris Scala being your top 3, your podium drivers. And I mean, Bruce R. Bouchard, who had won B event, he finished in 7th. He got a good top 10 finish, so he'll be getting some points, a lot of points towards him, which should help him on his chase for the championship. Your top 5, Kenneth O'Keefe, Mark Jackson, Chris Scala, Donald King, and Dallas Miracle here at USA International Speedway.
Yeah, forgetting to mention earlier on in the race, Ted, I believe this would go to 2nd place finisher Jackson. The halfway mark sponsored tonight in the A main was sponsored by Bart's Competition Karting. Gave the halfway winner the $10 in iRacing credits, so definitely applaud there to them giving out those extra credits to the halfway mark.
Yeah, 100%, and so Mark Jackson will get that extra $10 iRacing credit for leading at the halfway mark. We have the top 3 for you today. Kenneth O'Keefe taking the win, Mark Jackson in 2nd, and Chris Scala in 3rd. I want to bring it on down to today's winner, Kenneth O'Keefe, in that number 73 car. Kenneth O'Keefe, congratulations on winning here at USA International Speedway.
Thanks, guys.
It was a very strong race all the way through today. Mark Jackson was the race leader for the majority of the race today, but you were able to catch him. You were way back in the field, Kenneth, and then you got up there and ended up taking the lead away and won this race. How are you feeling, bud?
I'm feeling great. At the beginning, we started on the pole there, and after 25 laps, I figured more people would pit, but that didn't happen. That got me way back in the field, and I had to work my way back up. Got back up at the front. I guess we just missed the halfway money there, but otherwise led the rest of the race, and it went good. The car was okay. After a few laps, it was really loose there coming off the corner, so I had to watch it a little bit. Mark probably could have got me there a couple times.
Yeah, speaking of Mark, he was all over the rear bumper of your car as the laps were winding down. Did you have any worry at all that he would be up there fighting for the win at the end of this race?
I was definitely worried. He was all over me, but we just stayed consistent and tried to manage that gap a little bit. He was a little closer than I wanted a couple times, but ended up good.
Well, congratulations on winning tonight's race here at USA International Speedway. Before we go on to the next driver, are there any people that you would like to thank out there, Kenneth? Anybody who does it for you? Sponsors, family members, what have you?
First off, I'd like to thank Cora for putting on these great events. All the great competition, great racers here. Mosport International Karting, the place I race in real life, and that's about it.
Well, thank you very much, and congratulations on the win tonight at USA International Speedway, Kenneth. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And I think Matt is down there with our second place winner, Mark Jackson. Matt, you got him?
Yeah, down here with Mark Jackson, second place finisher. I'm going to say at this point, Ted, unofficially the halfway leader to get the Bart's Karting extra $10 for leading at halfway. As it looks like on my chart, he was the lap 60 would have been the last lap you led. But how do you feel about tonight's race overall, Mark?
Matt, I am just totally stoked about tonight's race. It was, man, I'll tell you, the adrenaline, the nerves are still pumping. That was an incredible race for me.
We saw you get back to the bumper of Kenneth O'Keefe a couple times there, lost him one run, but did you ever think you might have had that chance to work your way around him given enough time?
I was hoping if I could keep the pressure on, he might make a mistake, but I have to give him props. He held his line steady and he was fast, man. Once he got by me, the only chance I had really was for him to make a mistake. We had a good car tonight, and was really stoked about the race.
All right, Mark. It was good to have you out here and have you had such a great finish. Is there anybody you got to thank for maybe helping you out with the setup or getting the car all the way out here?
Absolutely. I would like to thank Storm Motorsports, David Winke and David Bouchard, and Cora, and also I'd like to say hello to my son back in Texas, Mark, and my stepdaughter here there was watching on the broadcast there. And again, thank you guys very much. That was a lot of fun, and hope we get to do it again.
All right, thanks, Mark. And once again, congratulations on most likely leading that halfway point. Can't quite figure that out myself still, but good. We gave you all our congratulations on that second place finish. I've got to send it off to Ted, who's got to catch up with Chris Scala, third place finisher here tonight at USA.
Chris Scala, this is Ted Manning up here in the ETV live booth. You got me, bud?
Yes, sir.
So, a great top 3 finish tonight here at USA International Speedway. How are you feeling with those laps winding down towards the end?
It was pretty crazy, man. Want to send a shout out real quick to Kenneth and Mark on their good finishes, and shout out to Donald behind me, a teammate that him and I had a good race to the finish. I felt bad that looked like there was a wreck there, and I got a piece of it, but no, definitely a good finish for the guys of All Pro Racing and stuff. And I gotta jokingly say I'm disappointed I didn't finish 5th. I broke my average, but no, it was a lot of fun out there.
Broke your average, you did, coming in 3rd place here. Yeah, towards the right there at the end, coming to that line, 3 of you guys racing hard, 2 of which crashed, 1 being your teammate. How'd it feel having that teammate out there right behind you, being able to race with you and race against you at the same time?
It was a lot of fun. I mean, I was going to race Donald as clean as I could. I mean, like I do, I try to, at least every other driver out there, and I want to thank them for racing me clean. Hopefully I didn't make anyone angry tonight. But, no, I was trying to race him clean. He got loose or something in 1, and I went and did the same thing in 3, and that's what made us side-by-side come to the line. And it's a lot of fun. Donald's a great guy, and just fun to race with everybody else in this league.
Are there any other races that you're going to make here with the Sunday Money series? We have Michigan next week and then Talladega as the season finale. After that, are there any other races you're planning to be with?
Well, I've run 3 now, starting Daytona, and I plan on being here the rest of the season and going next year for the championship and stuff. I mean, I feel like we got a good team here. I feel like we've been consistent, and I just got to keep learning, get experience with the guys here in Cora and the great racers here, and we'll see what happens here. We got, as you mentioned, 2 more races to learn and have fun, and we'll see what happens.
Fantastic. That's excellent to hear. One more thing before we go. Do you have anybody you'd like to thank? Any sponsors?
Yeah, Veritas Building, LLC, Michelangelo's Painting, J Pools, Cora, jpools.com, that is Cora. And just all my friends. I know Fish and a couple other friends of mine were out there watching in chat earlier, and just a lot of fun. And thanks to all the drivers, and a lot of fun, and appreciate the night.
Thank you very much. Congratulations, Chris, on the 3rd place finish.
All right, thanks, guys.
So, Matt, we had a very eventful night. B main race went very well, went off without a hitch almost, and it ended up giving us some great racing. And so that's one thing that we can be thankful for. And so, Matt, what is your overall thought on today's doubleheader?
My overall thought on today's racing was outstanding. Minimal cautions from what we could have had here, and definitely 1-car spins where they were, but just amazing racing by all these guys, especially Kenneth O'Keefe, Mark Jackson. Gotta thank both of them for putting on the show that they did. I've got to say, I can't wait for next week where they go off to Michigan to get these guys back on the track and see what happens.
It's going to be very exciting. I can't wait to get back to some a bigger track. We got 2 more races left here in the Championship Online Racing Association's Sunday Money Series. Like we said, Michigan, and then our season finale at Talladega. And if last season finale at Talladega was the show for anything, it's going to be one hell of a ride. From everybody here at ETV Live, I'm Ted Manning along with my partner Matt Close. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next week at Michigan International Speedway.